We'll be live now. Hey, you guys, how the illusion of fear is affecting the black community. That's our topic tonight. Fear not. Like, share, subscribe.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Fair use. Let's get them in here. Like, share, subscribe. Big ups to Comment. Chi-Town artists. In entering upon this course of instruction, each of you should, so far as possible, lay aside for the time being all previous theories and beliefs. By so doing, you will be saved the trouble of trying all the way through the show to put, quote, new wine into old wineskins, end quote. Luke chapter 5, verse 37. If there's anything as we proceed which you don't understand or agree with, just let it lie passively in your mind until you have enjoyed the entire show. For many statements that would at first arouse antagonism and discussion will be clear and easily accepted a little farther on. After the show is over, if you wish to return to your old beliefs and ways of living, you are at perfect liberty to do so. But for the time being, be willing to become as a little child, for said the Master in spiritual things, quote, except ye become as little children, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven, end quote. Matthew chapter 18, verse 3. If at times there seems to be repetition, please remember, the Self Luv Show is a lesson, not a lecture. What's the point of life? Lord, why do we do it? And what's the point of strife? Pimps and whores see right through it. They see fluid. All Johns ain't saints, and St. John knew it. Tricks are preachers, 12 disciples, and so-called druids. See, solid. Get married and have shorties after college. So what's the point? Vibrate love, go share knowledge. Silence is violence. Stupid is as stupid does. Join the Give Back Gang Alliance. Gang, gang.
And even in this instance, if I could be a service to a 9-year-old girl or a 19-year-old woman or girl who wants to be a woman, is to really remember that self-love is the best way that you can receive love from anybody else, because it's coming from you. A lot of times we forget that. We look externally for this love. We look externally for this feeling of validation and adoration and approval, and it has to come from within.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Nothing more. Nothing but the truth, the whole truth. Truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Cue the music, Chi-Town. Cue the music.
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
Absolutely, Chi-Town kids are in the joint.
I'm just a kid from Chicago.
What down, what down, what down, what down? What down?
Realer than most.
I'm just a kid from Chicago. Self love.
Trying to make a way.
Vision.
Game of life, trying to make a play.
I'm just a kid from Chicago. Absolutely. Feels much better. Chi-Town kids are black. Welcome, what down? Welcome to Chi-Town's very own The Self Love Show, where we got two mottos. Motto number uno is on earth as it is in heaven. Bing! All praise due to the Most High and also all the ancestors. Big ups to my mama Sky. Rest up. Our motto number two, Deuce, is as above, so below. Right now we can be reached Malcolm exclusively right here on the YouTube channel. This ain't that network. And as we affectionately say, TATN. Hmm? Huh? I'm just a kid from Chicago. This is one of the co-hosts, and I'm Millie, also known as Self Love. What down, what down, what down, Chi-Town. Well, also known as Self. What down, what down, what down, Chi-Town. And Self, you gotta break down the science of the self-love and self. We've been forgetting to do that. But what down, Chi-Town, what down, what down, what down? Repeat after he. I am greater than my excuse. I am greater than my excuse. I am greater than any excuse. We live and live in color, as far as I know. Today is Wednesday, hump day, July 13, 2022, right around 8:10 p.m. Chi-Town time. As always, we love to acknowledge that you cats can be anywhere in this magnanimous, magnificent universe. And thankfully, we all Scooter chose to be here together. Big ups to Scooter chose. Here together. What down, what down, what down, what down? Brother Wordsmith, what you manifesting today, sir?
Love, man, as always, you know me.
Yes, sir.
Manifesting love. What you manifesting?
Ditto, Brody, ditto. Pure, magnificent, magnanimous. Some say harsh, some say tough. I say it's love just the same, good brother.
Facts.
So, what's been going down in your neck of the shot, bro?
Y'all put them guns down. Put them down. Somebody toward the end of the parkway got unalived yesterday. R.I.P.
Wow.
Didn't know him well though, so you know what I mean. But still, it's close.
Yeah, man. 6 degrees of separation.
It's more like 2 now.
Facts. Facts. Man, was he over there when I was around there?
Nah, nah. He recently stay in the second house, Big Mark's old house.
Oh, wow. Man, rest in peace. How old was the cat approximately?
Mid-20s, possibly early 30s, possibly.
Did it happen around the crib or what?
On Paxton or something. I hear. I don't even know what in Paxton. Jacko
Yeah.
let me know. Cuz of.
Whew. Yeah, big ups to Slacko. Big ups, Slacko. Big ups. Yeah, sorry to hear that, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna ditto that though. Stop the blicks. Use your words. Figure it out. If you have to, use your pause. If you take an L, that gives you no right to go shoot somebody up, especially if it was an L that you deserved. You know what I mean? Especially if it was an L that you deserved. So, but for you cats who may not know our format today, what to expect, as always, we got the Self Love Show quote of the day. And then, of course, we run our short platform video. It's our foundation. It's what we're standing upon. It's the More Growth and Development Program. That's the More Growth and Development Program. Sink your souls and your minds into that. Also, we run a short video, and Self Love and we unpack it, and we determine if it's, we say yay or nay to tattoo tyranny, Of course, we have a new segment that we're going to run from time to time entitled, What If They Were Black or Pink? And then, of course, we have our dome teaser. It's a riddle. And today's topic is the science of fear or the illusion of fear, however you want to break that down, and how it affects our community. And that's the melanated community. And then we'll get into next week's sneak peek. We got a great guest and a great show lined up for you, courtesy of Brother Wordsmith. And then, of course, we wrap it up with my personal favorite part of the entire shebang. And that's where this brother to my right, caps it off with he summarizes things with a nice piece of prose right off the top of the dome out there, right off the rip, as we say in the Heezy. Freestyle. Some of you guys may be more familiar with that. What's the other word, the more formal word they use in the white schools?
It's
Not impromptu. Why can't I ever think of it?
Impromptu. Yeah.
All right. Yes. Improvisation. All right. And then, but first, we got some announcements here, or we may or may not. You got any announcements, bro?
Put them guns down. Stop all this killing. It's not to our benefit. All right. People that look like us ain't our ops. We got to figure that out.
That's right. Bullets are boomerangs. Murder is suicide. And silence is violence. So,
Facts.
I agree with this cat. So all I had is we're moving up in our subscription base. So creeping up. Appreciate you guys, every single one of you. Self Love and this is all organic. We could pay those cats over in India. I get overtures all the time, and they'll watch the videos, and we can have a bunch of people in here, but so far Yahusha is giving me the big fat no on doing that. So as it is, 84 more real human soulful subscribers, and myself and my better half, we're going to do some skydiving. Neither of us have ever done it. I'm going to jump out of a plane. I'm going to, of course, get the video, and then we can run it on TATN, and of course, right here during the Self Love Show. So share the link, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell the ops about us, so they can, absorb some of this information, and then ultimately become greater than their excuse. While you're at it, hit that thumbs up, hit the notification bell as well, so you can be notified when we do go live, and subscribe to the channel. So, if there's anybody out there that's been dealing with fear, maybe we got some psychiatrists, we got a smart chat. Maybe we got some people who've studied this or overcome quote unquote fear. We want to hear from you. And along those lines, go ahead and type in there where you're checking in from. If you're more comfortable, you can just do the state. Don't put your address out there. We wouldn't want anybody to get doxxed, or anything of that nature. Enough of my yapping, though. I'll turn this over to this brother, Wordsmith, so that he can handle his BI. Let's see here.
Yeah.
And I can get this annoying humming sound out of my ear. All right, bro.
Yep. Welcome to the Self Love Show. As Nine said, we are breaking down how the illusion of fear affects the melanated community. But like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, share far and wide, because you don't get this type of information everywhere. And we need to get it to our people. As always, we have a very important video, the More Growth and Development platform, which we are building the Self Love Nation off of. But before that, we have the Self Love Show quote of the day. Do not be afraid to give up the good to go for the greater. Do not be afraid to give up the good to go for the greater. It's unknown author. Check this out. Silverback More Growth and Development platform. Number 1, repair our nation via reparations. We demand our silver back. Number 2, to connect our breadwinners with our activists. And 3, show an accurate depiction of African American Chi-Town. 4, to shine a light on positive influences. 5, heal our community one person at a time. 6, to provide an unfiltered platform for our influencers. 7, recycle the black dollar. 8, to provide mentors for the mentorless. 9, to close the gap between us and our pink kinsmen.
Closing the gap. Number 10, self-love and the platform.
Number 10 is protect our women and children by any and all means necessary.
Damn right. Damn right. Now, I'm not suggesting this, but if you are going to use your blick and turn to violence, let's have some self-defense going on out there for you and yours and for the nation.
Facts.
Speaking of the nation, let's free Chief Malik, and let's free Larry Hoover as well.
Yes. Free
I
all
feel
the
like it'll be
guys.
free all of them.
Prison
Prison's
slavery. It's slavery.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And in case you guys missed it, last week we covered corporate malfeasance. It's part 1 of a riveting series where we're unpacking these conglomerates. And we broke down BlackRock, which name was derived from Black Stone, we discovered. And yeah, do your research on that, your due diligence. They're mammoth, and they have a large influence on what goes on in the Western society. Today's topic is the science of fear, or the illusion of fear, and how it affects our community, or the Black community. That's what we're touching on today. You guys like, share, subscribe. Let's get them in the building, huh, Self?
Facts and facts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Share,
Right.
Get it out here. Let's get some people in here if you can. Just let like minds know
Man,
how we flow.
unlike minds. Let them all know. Get them all in here. Just let them know trolls get hoes. That's our motto. And then,
Fact.
so also, you guys are Self Love. I don't know if you saw the Uvalde, Texas supermom.
I think I've heard about that.
Yeah, she needs a big fat S on her chest. Super.
Man.
Yeah. Big ups to WFAA. Fair use, educational purpose.
Weeks of pain in Uvalde, Robb Elementary, where the community still comes to remember 21 innocent lives lost. It's where Angelique Gomez made a split decision to save her kids from a gunman, a decision she says has led to harassment and threats by Uvalde police. Angelique is a farm worker and was working in the fields when the school came under attack.
I'm running. I just run off the fields and I get in my car. I'm going about 100 miles per hour. I had my flashing lights on. And
She was hysterical when she arrived and wanted to go in immediately, but says she was ordered by an officer to get back.
He's like, "You're very close." I said, "Well, I don't need you to protect me. I don't need your protection. What you need to do is go protect my kids. They're in there."
Angelique says she could hear the children and the gunman.
You could just hear the gun like, just kept going. You could hear kids screaming from the cafeteria, kids screaming from classrooms.
She says she and other parents were frustrated that police were standing around doing nothing.
I'm starting to tell the parents, come on, if we all go in there, they can't stop us all.
She says they not only stopped her, but handcuffed her and tackled some parents to the ground.
Why are you doing it to us? And y'all can't even go in there and do it to the shooter.
Angelique says after a few minutes, she did calm down and officers uncuffed her. That's when she ran, hopped a nearby fence, and ran inside.
I mean, it was really risky what I did, but at that moment, you don't think. It's just your mind goes blank and you're just in there to do what you're gonna do.
Angelique says she first ran to one of her son's classrooms and got the teacher to open the door and then help lead the entire class out of the school.
They're already coming in for me, so might as well take your way out. So she's like, okay. So she's getting the kids, we're coming, come on guys, we're gonna go.
But Angelique says she wasn't done. Her other son was still inside and terrified she could still hear gunfire in the distance.
So I kind of just got on one knee and I just kind of said a prayer real quick, like, because I could hear the kids screaming, I want my mom, from the cafeteria.
Angelique says she made it to her son's room and managed to get him and one of his friends out. She says a resident shot this video of her running from the school and gave it to her. It shows her and the two boys running into the parking lot, her son breaking down into tears.
You're gonna be okay.
Angelique's attorney, Domingo Garcia, says she acted with more heroism than most of the officers who responded that day.
Hey, how you doing?
It's a sad statement that these police officers are willing to arrest parents who are just trying to save their children as opposed to going after an active shooter who at that time was still shooting children and killing them and shooting teachers, and they did nothing.
Weeks after the shooting, Angelique says she's still being threatened with arrest. She claims she's been watched by Uvalde police in marked cars. Uvalde police have not responded to requests for comment.
I've also had a cop park here while me and my grandmother are exercising, flickering on and off his headlights, just watching us. I don't know what he's doing. He's just there.
She says they're angry with her for ignoring their orders.
We can arrest you for tampering with an open investigation of an active shooter.
Her attorney says it's intimidation and a form of small-town justice.
Intimidation with people under a badge for telling the truth, for telling her story and trying to save her two children.
Have a good day, sir. You too. Take care.
Angelique wants Police Chief Pete Arredondo fired and held accountable. He was the presumed incident commander that day. Uvalde police have not responded to repeated requests for comment on Angelique's case to WFAA or her attorney. She hopes by speaking out, it will protect her from future retaliation. In Uvalde, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
The State House panel investigating.
Man, she did exactly what you said you would have done. Check your mute.
Yeah, facts. I mean, yeah. And I don't know if this is true, but I heard earlier today that they got police force inside the school. Stationed right at the school. I didn't know that. That makes it far worse.
Well, not a force, but yeah, there was a cop. Yes, an armed officer, but he wasn't even there. He was driving back to the school when it happened. All of them had dereliction of duty. The cop who's getting paid to be there for just that situation wasn't there.
Wow, I didn't know that part. I thought he ran out of there because
he may have, but he claims that he came back, and I think he said he saw the guy running in a building or some crap. But bro, it's a video that leaked today. We're gonna run it next week. You had one cop looking at his cell phone because his wife called him, the teacher who was shot and murdered, and said she had been shot. And he's standing in the hallway with everybody else, just staring at his phone and not doing anything, bro.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's bizarre. They showed one, bro. So all the shooting, the kids are screaming. They blotched out the kids screaming. The video leaked. They were going to release it a few days later, but somebody leaked it. So they didn't let you hear the kids screaming. One little shorty was coming down the hall, and saw dude as he was coming in there with his long gun and all the gear on. Shorty peeked around that corner and took off running the other way. I hope he ran on out of the building, because that's what I would have done. But they corched to go get up under the desk.
Yeah, that's some sitting duck.
So you had one cop, and I should have saved this for next week, but you'll see it. It's going to be all over the news. So while the kids are screaming, one cop came in there. There was a hand sanitizer dispenser on the wall. Dispense some hand sanitizer. I can't make this up. While kids are screaming and gunshots going off, this guy, well, it's the covert. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to get killed by covert, I guess. Sanitizing his hands.
Well, like I said before, excuse me, they don't have a duty to protect us. It's not even their duty. They don't have a responsibility, and they get off time and time again at a place where crime is happening and people get killed and do nothing and watch, and nothing happens to them. And the Supreme Court agrees with that.
And then to be harassing this lady and threatening her with charges, obstructing, I guess she went past the police tape to save her kids.
Yeah, I wouldn't be intimidated by any of that mess, because, it's like a female cat. That's how they act. And it's just further being exasperated more and more.
Yeah.
How she did what y'all should have done, and y'all mad at her?
Yes. And it's such a small
on the op. I mean, really, was y'all a part of it? Like, y'all stopping parents from going in the building to get their children? Y'all
and
part
it's
of
it? And it's such a small town, bro, that the police had family in there. Some of them had kids. I just don't understand how you standing there.
Some of them went in there and got their kids.
So they did what she did.
Yeah. And was trying to stop her from doing it.
And then did you see when she brought the shorty out there? The police, you're safe now. If you don't shut your fat ass up. But man, I'm not gonna say I would appreciate hearing the video with the kids screaming. I think now when they're doing their police training videos, they should force all those I don't want to say pigs, but they should force all of them to listen to that.
Well, I will go on the record and call them pigs.
So I guess you made your vote. Is this tyranny out there?
What she did was heroic, saved the whole class, and then her son and another child. So what they did was asinine. Tyranny, that's very small term for what they did.
Cowardly. Yeah, I'm the overseer.
Beyond cowardly.
Big ups, I'm the overseer. He put in a pig picture, so I guess he's in agreement with you out there.
Yeah.
I mean, that is bizarre, man. And I'm not gonna say I don't know how I would have reacted, because I would have went in there. And
Yeah,
now if I'm
they
a
wouldn't
man
stop.
out there, right, and the father's out there watching this lady go get her kid,
And if
standing out there telling the police, y'all got to go do something.
didn't the guy got unalived, right?
Who?
The shooter.
Yeah, they went in there and killed him.
Yeah, and they didn't. It was a sheriff or somebody that was not working with them.
It was the border patrol.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody whose kids was in there, and he went in there with his shotgun. His children. I'm sorry, kids. His children was in there, and he went in there with a shotgun.
Yeah. Yeah,
and ended it.
Yeah, it was a couple of them broke in there, busted in there, and ended it. Right. Then one of them got grazed in the head by the bullet. But hey, you know what I mean? You know, you got to go in there kamikaze death squad style and end it. Man, you got kids screaming, and you sit out there. They said it was an hour and 17 minutes, Self. Now, it's 8:34 now. We'll try to remember. Hey, Siri, set alarm for an hour and 17 minutes. When this alarm goes off, that's how long they sat there listening to kids screaming and being shot.
Following orders. That's some.
1 moment. I set your alarm for 7.
Yeah, but they don't follow orders when the pig is saying don't shoot that unarmed black man.
Well, they shouldn't have followed any of these orders.
Right.
I don't think they're getting the order to not shoot unarmed black men.
True.
I don't think they get that order. That's not
true. Well, we had a case where the lady was trying to stop abuse, the female cop. I'm sure there's other cops on the scene like, hey, stand down, and they're like, no, this is how you do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't really talk to them. But I did want to mention, I said from the jump, though, my man should have stepped down, bro, if he had any dignity. Right. Yes.
Any self-respect.
Yes. Yes, but this is the fear show, and that's what we're talking about. And those officers, many of them, not all of them, because like you said, the Border Patrol went in there and took care of business. They stood down for a minute, but they weren't there that long, and I'm sure they were listening to this like, this is crazy.
My children in there, so.
Self, they said they were waiting. Wait till the video next week. You'll probably see it before then. They said they were waiting for tactical long arms and gear. They had that stuff within like 15 minutes. And they were all standing in the hallway with the shields and everything, putting hand sanitizer on and looking at their cell phones, bro. One of them was giving each other. One of them saw one of them saw one of his buddies and fist bumped him while kids are screaming. That's like us giving the regulator dap. And our job is to go in there and
handle it.
And condolences to the family, and may the lost children, rest up, and to the injured ones, if there were any injured, because he had that long gun. Speedy recovery, and to all of them that traumatized psychologically. I'd never go back to school again.
They were like, some of the children, the only way they could be identified was by their clothing. Like, this one girl had some shoes, new shoes, and that was the only way to identify her.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a
Wow. All right, let's push
massacre.
past that, man. Yeah, that's sad. And small ups to the devil who, went in there and did that. If you're out there having psychological issues, get yourself some help. I don't know if we can say kill yourself.
Yeah, no ups, and
Yeah.
may you be where you are now.
Yeah, there you go. All right, fair enough. All right, we're gonna push past this real quick. I think we do have a what if they were, black. What if Karen was black?
We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
A mother of two bows her head and sobs as she's acquitted of stabbing her husband to death. It's a stunning verdict. She admitted waiting 11 hours before calling 911.
11 hours is a very long time to report that someone in your home is injured, much less has been stabbed and bleeding out.
Danielle Redlick said she killed her husband, 65-year-old Michael Redlick, in self-defense. She says as he pinned her on a kitchen countertop, she reached for a knife.
He takes his hand, he smacks my head, and so I'm just pinned up against the counter like this, and he's straddling my body here and has me pinned.
She didn't call 911 until the next morning. Before calling, she cleaned up the crime scene and even took a nap. Prosecutors say she even checked out a dating app, apparently looking for eligible men to date. Finally, she called 911. She said her husband died from a heart attack, this despite the obvious stab wounds on his body.
He's stiff and he's wondered he might have had a heart attack. I don't know.
Okay. Did you just find him?
No, actually, it happened last night.
It happened last night?
And get this, Danielle Redlick's husband used to be her stepfather. He was married first to her mother, who died in 1999.
What do you think was in the jury's mind? Clearly, the only way the jury came away with this verdict is they found her credible, and they believed that she was scared, that it was truly self-defense.
Her slain husband's best friend tells Inside Edition he is shocked by the trial's outcome.
I'm just amazed that the jury couldn't see it.
Couldn't see what?
Couldn't see that she was guilty.
We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
After the not guilty verdict, Redlick mouthed the words, "Thank you," to the jury.
Big ups to Inside Edition for that. That's under fair use. All right, Self. Any comments on the video before I ask you the question? You got any comments on that?
That, my friend, has to be the result of some witchcraft or sorcery or magician something, because ain't no way.
Big ups to her.
Happened last night.
Big ups to her trial attorney. You know what I mean? If you're in that area and find yourself in a jam.
Nah, he's devil's advocate type of lawyer out there.
Oh, he might have been the one that made the pact out there, huh?
Yeah, because, man, I mean,
she lied about everything. Isn't it unbelievable? It's completely unreal. How much of this do you think, because I can ask you a question. Let's imagine they are white, but what if it was a male and the victim was his wife? You think you'd had a different result?
Absolutely different result.
Yeah. the old "I was being abused" garnered her some sort of sympathy. When why don't you just go get help like everybody else and move away? You know.
She cleaned up the crime scene, bro.
Yes.
She cleaned it all up.
Didn't report it.
Gave her own narrative. 11 hours later.
Yes.
Figured out what she needed to say, and all of that. It ain't self-defense cleaning up the crime scene or the death scene or whatever. It's not, you know.
And how she said it happened is just completely crap.
He's wounded. He might have had a heart attack.
Right. So he's beating her up, and she just magically grabs a knife and stabs him in the jugular. That
man might have been asleep when she killed him.
That's what I'm thinking. Or just, washing dishes or something, and she just came up behind him and stabbed him in the jugular. Might have been after he had whooped her up or whatever, but they didn't even say she had bruises or nothing on her.
Right. And we don't even know where it happened at, because she cleaned it up.
They said nothing about a history of police coming out there to pull him up off of her, or a history of domestic abuse. None of that.
It was none of that. It was none of that. I told you what it was. It's some sorcery, some magic, some witchcraft. Somebody did a spell or something.
So
that's completely unbelievable. If that was in a movie, everybody be like, "Oh, that's some BS."
You'd get up and walk out.
Yeah.
If it was a TV show, it'd be the last episode you watched of it.
Man.
Because they're insulting your intelligence. Today's topic is the illusion of fear and how it affects the black community, or the science of fear. But I'm going to ask you the $1 million question here. What if she was a homegirl? What if she was black?
Well, she might already be unalived.
Possibly. And I'm going to say she probably would have, the lawyer or the PD or whoever would have talked her into taking a plea deal, and they would have slapped her with a second degree or something, and she'd have gotten about 50 years. Might have served 30 of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's 50 years. That's double life.
Yeah.
Double life. Shit. 25 is life.
Yeah, but that's the plea, because they would have said you're looking at the death penalty or natural life.
She deserves that. Can we say deserved? I'm not sure, especially
I think we can. I think we can. And yeah, so that Karen, I'm going to say, I'm going to agree. If the Karen was Shanifa, Shanifa would be incarcerated.
Or dead before trial.
Oh yeah, especially if she stabbed a pink man. Oh
yeah. Stop resisting.
Yeah.
Don't resist. Don't resist.
Yeah, they like that. When you're not even resisting.
Right, at all.
All right.
You're like,
at all.
I'm not resisting. What are you talking about?
I told you when they wrote me up for resisting, and a pig out there tried to smash my face into the into my hood of my car.
Right.
Grabbed me by the back of my head, and
right.
I guess he just thought I wasn't in cuffs yet, thank God. I guess he just thought I was just gonna let him smash my teeth into the car. And I braced myself, and that was resisting. But they tossed it out of court, and that was in DuPage County. They tossed that out. And when I told them exactly what happened. Now, did they reprimand the pig, or did they fire him or nothing like that? No, he probably got promoted. He's probably training. He's probably the captain now.
Bro, did you hear that Tamir Rice's murderer got a new job and was going to be fast-tracked to be the chief?
Can we say Triple K?
Man. And it got out, and everybody was at that,
station.
Police department, and he stepped down. He stepped down, but the mayor, all the people was responsible for hiring this guy.
Now, Tamir Rice,
and the mayor.
Remind me of that case. Well, go ahead. The mayor was what for you?
The mayor made a statement about the Tamir Rice thing, Say you play with a gun, that's what happens. Said
Was that the
something
guy
like
who
that.
was asleep at his friend's house and they all bars in there with the
No. This is the child that was in the park
with the toy gun and they just rolled up and shot him.
Yeah,
the
2
11-year-old
seconds of getting there. It was 13, I think, or 10.
Yeah, he was young because some
really
Karen called and she even said on the 911 call it might be a toy or something.
Yeah, I mean, it had a pink tip on it. It wasn't no gun. They rolled up right up and murdered him. And the one that pulled the trigger was about to be fast-tracked to be a chief somewhere.
And this is why, you have to pray so hard, not to burn these police stations down, these KKK meeting centers.
Well, yeah, this system has to come apart because it's a real issue for the world.
Yeah, and it's flagrant. All right, well, let's jump to the dome teaser so we can get this show on the road out there. So today's riddle, the dome teaser, here we go, Self. Jim was examining an angle measuring 14.5 degrees. Using his magnifying glass, which magnifies everything 2 times. Under the glass, how large would that angle measure? You got a thumbs up out there?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to repeat it for the chat. Jim was examining an angle measuring 14.5 degrees. He uses his magnifying glass, which magnifies everything 2 times. Under the glass, how large would that angle measure? I figured you'd get that. You're a math science guy. But enough for the appetizers. If you know it in the chat, type it in. Type in the response in the chat. But enough of the appetizers out there, so.
Let's quench the Self-Love Nation's thirst.
All right. Big ups to the crack promo staff, production staff. We got a promo coming up, and we're going to get this shebang on the road.
Baby.
Oh, boy. Did it again. Hold on. That's not right.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark.
Yeah, I swear I looked at this before everything started. I thought I did. Oh, shit. Refresh your lick production.
Right.
And you guys like, share, subscribe. And if you know that key to the riddle, go ahead and type that in there. Today's topic is the illusion of fear and its effect on our community or the black community. The science of fear. We're going to get into some of that today as well. Wait a minute. Wait, so that's not right either, is it? No. All right. Oh, shit. Hold on a second. Stand by.
Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. Y'all know the drill. Let's get them in here. Let's get these subscriptions up.
Let's get it. Let's get this, like Self said, let's get the subscriptions up so that we can get this more growth and development message out here to our folks and our peoples, whatever you're calling yourself out there. Stop the blicking. Stop that violence. It'll get you nowhere unless you're defending yourself, the women, or the children. And you can refresh at your ready production staff. The illusion of fear. Yeah, I'll check the chat. See if there's anything cracking in there. Let's see here. Look at Omni Overseer. All right, we'll get it after this. All right, go ahead and run the video. Waking them up. We got the 20th show lined up next week on the Self Luv Show.
Fear is an emotion that seems to be almost universal, so it's experienced across a whole range of different cultures and even in other animals such as chimpanzees. It's basically the name we give to our interpretation of biological changes. So when we experience fear, it's as a result of perhaps our blood being diverted away from our digestive organs in order to flow towards parts of the body that will enable us to fight or to flee.
We're going to get a promo video out accordingly. I'll let you guys know what we got in store for the 13th show.
Physiological means relating to your body's functions and processes. So with fear, we don't just feel scared, our body actually responds to it. Let's take a look at what happens when we experience fear. Once we sense something dangerous, our amygdala goes into action. This is a small almond-shaped area in your brain.
We will let you know most Ricky Tick. Just know that we're bringing the truth and we're bringing it raw.
Fear is not real.
He's scaring
me.
me.
The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination.
Hey y'all, fear is cap.
Vibrate, love.
Causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. That is near insanity, Qatar.
Free your mind, and the rest will follow. Quote the great Michael Jackson. They don't give a F about us, huh?
Hey bros, what's going on? This is Cotton. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Do you still have them?
I do.
Have you ever had them? Hey, that Supermom had her.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so before we jump into it, I'm the overseer said 14.5 degrees. Is that what you had, Self Love?
Exactly.
All right. So big ups to the chat. Y'all got her done. He also said that the lady in the last segment was married to her stepfather. Then he said facts. So that was her stepdad?
Yes. He had married her mother and her mother died. And that's why I had to turn my the mic back on when they said that. I was like, wow.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And then he said they didn't even stop. I need some clarification. You know what he means by that, Sal? Well, he said they didn't, and then the next one is even stop.
Right. Something after that.
You're right.
Probably Tamir Rice thing or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's what he's talking about. They didn't even stop when they pulled up. He's right. The car didn't even stop. It was literally a drive-by.
Wow.
He's right. They stopped after they shot him, but yeah, the car was still moving
when they shot. Okay.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Tamir Rice. And then, man, really, and he's an ancestor. And condolences to the family.
Man, much condolence, because that was just stupid and uncalled for.
Man.
White supremacy at its worst.
And that's a misnomer. We got to start calling it either pink supremacy or white inferiority or something. We got to come up with something.
I hear you.
White inferiority. Yeah, I like that.
White fragility.
I like that too. Yeah. All right, but so the purpose of today's show, we're going to unpack the origin of quote, end quote, fear. We put it in quotes because many of us feel like it's cap. But can this illusion of fear, is it somehow manageable? We're going to break down the pros and cons of the illusion of fear, and of course, how it could be affecting us as individuals and the Black community. So I'll jump it off, and this question is for Self Love and the chat as well. What is fear, in your words?
The lowest vibration in this matrix that we are involved in. It's the actual being scared of something that hasn't happened, for the most part. It's bad for the human vehicle unless there is clear and present danger. You create hormones that are only good in fight or flight, cortisol being one of them. And it's a detriment to the vehicle that we all live in. There's a lot of problems with fear.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, I like that definition. You went somewhere that I wasn't, it didn't even cross my mind, but that is actual facts as far as it being the lowest vibratory form. I'd add that it's an absence of love. Fear can usually is always found where there's no love, I should say. That's, would be my personal take on it. Now, according to the scientists and things of that nature.
Science?
Mr. Scientist. Fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. Again, fear is defined as an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief, and we know belief breaks down to belie, that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. Using a sentence, he is prey. We're not talking P-R-A-Y, but hey, he is prey to irrational fears. Like, share, subscribe, you guys. How long would you say has this low vibratory form, how long has this been in existence?
Probably somewhere near when we started as a species.
Yeah, and if we're going to go biblical with that whole story, it's not just a Christian theology, but, the garden and the tree of knowledge. And so just if I'm taking that, I would say, right after Adam and Eve and so which would be very close, like you said, to our beginning. Now, according to WebMD, November 17, 2005, scientists have a new clue about the roots of fear. This fear factor doesn't go bump in the night. Instead, they said it's a gene. They've identified the Stathmin, S-T-A-T-H-M-I-N, the Stathmin gene, to be precise. They allege that mice without the Stathmin gene behave differently from quote-unquote normal mice. They act less mousy in situations that would scare quote-unquote normal mice. It was an interesting study, Self. They were saying that, how when you put a mouse in the middle of a room, it scurries to a corner or it'll hide in a box. But these mice that they removed this gene allegedly wouldn't run, you know. And I think naturally some of us just may not have it, and I think that's whatever, it has to be for a reason. What I'm saying is my cat that I got out of the alley. This cat just would just run right up to us, while the other cats, even though we might feed them, you know, they still, you know, we come out there, they run away. It takes a long time for them to really develop that trust. This cat, man, bowed it. And if the Stathman gene is true, but it's weird though, because the cat has it, because now that she's in the house, you know, she acts fearful of everything. But I don't know. But go ahead. What any comments you got about this WebMD?
Yeah, this gene, I think, is hogwash. I'll just say that. I don't agree with the science. I think it's pseudoscience.
Monkey science out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's the way I feel about it. I mean, you know, there's situations that you put in, you have memories. Every cell in your body has memories. And, you know, most of us have been here before and have a fear of things. And I don't think it's a gene.
Well, a lot of science says that it's coded.
For us. That's what I mean. Pardon me. For us, not cats and mice.
Well, they said coded. It's coded in, you know, all of our DNA, including humans. I'm just saying that, you know, this, not just this study, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but they're saying that even in early man, when we were crawling on all fours in the caves, or
that's not us. That's not us. We didn't do that. That's some other.
Yeah,
beings.
they said we were afraid of lightning and all of nature.
There's several beings.
We were afraid of thunder
on this planet. No, we created lightning and thunder. We did. These other people.
No, I agree. I agree.
Right.
And then also we were one with the animals. Like they would come right up to us. Yeah, the birds, and because we weren't killing them and eating them.
Yeah.
But so you're suggesting that there's different DNA running through different so-called human beings.
Absolutely. I'm saying that's a fact. I'm saying that there's certain of us that have more than 2 strands of DNA. And it's the original people that first populated.
Wait, so you're saying the double helix model, you're talking triple helix or even more than that?
It's more than that, actually. It's 6 strands of DNA in the original people.
Mm.
And these created beings they don't have that.
So they have 2, if that.
Yeah. They claim 2, so, you know, maybe.
So you pushing the Yakub theory?
Not necessarily Yakub theory, but yeah, they're not original to this place. They came from somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't think it's off planet. They're, you know, an offshoot of us.
Some sort of hybrid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys, we're doing the science / the illusion of fear and how it affects the Black community. You got any, can you think of any benefits of this so-called fear, self-love?
Yeah, I think at some point it could have helped survival when life was fight or flight. So I think that helped the people that I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
survive. You know,
But I mean, could it even help us? You know, you're out at, an event.
I think
on the
they
South
taught,
Side. And,
that's the only thing they could have taught us.
and that could have been from our interactions with them and how they were acting.
And leading us to our downfall. Our reduction.
Interesting. You just gave me another meditation on the whole tree of knowledge thing and what that could have all been about.
Man.
The Garden of Eden could have been where the indigenous people were.
Yeah. The tree of knowledge thing to me is like that tree in the in that movie with the blue beings.
Yeah, that was my mom. Rest her soul. That was like literally like her favorite movie.
Yeah, Avatar.
Yeah.
To me, that was like the tree of life, and I've been meditating and seeing some things and getting some information that like it's a lot of.
Wait, is the tree of life? The tree of life isn't synonymous with the tree of knowledge, is it? I don't think so.
To me, it is because it was from going from the metaphysical point of view from the movie. It had roots to the whole planet, and it was when they destroyed that affected everything on the planet, and there are so-called mountainous regions that are flat, and meditation and research has shown that those were trees. They're petrified tree stumps.
Yeah, you mean those? I've seen that. They look exactly like a tree. And if everything was bigger, it makes sense that the trees were bigger.
I mean, if we look at the sequoias and,
you know how much
all the places like that have been preserved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If we look at the places that have been preserved, we can just only imagine like those trees were far older, and it was way more oxygen on the planet.
Yeah, because the oldest trees are dated to be like 6,000-7,000 years old even to today.
And they're older.
And that's not even long. Yeah.
They're
can you imagine how much oxygen they were outputting?
That's what I said.
And how that oxygen was.
That's why they find these bones of the so-called dinosaurs and all that, and they're huge, and everything is shrunk down because they cut these trees down, bro.
Yeah, and how that oxygen could have been expanding our thoughts.
It was real air. It was real oxygen. It was
okay. So then the bigger we got,
O3,
we were able to put out more carbon dioxide, which trees could get bigger. So it was just
a cycle.
Yeah, compounding cycle.
Symbiotic relationship.
A symbiotic relationship. Yeah. Omni said, could the scientists have created something to make those mice more fearful to flee under normal situations? I told him, yeah, drugs. He's talking about the mice that they...
Yeah, that didn't have that. That they took it out of. But see, those mice, and see, for the mice, it would not be a benefit at all, because those mice will walk right out and get, caught by a cat or whatever it's chasing it.
Yeah, but what he's saying is because they have made the mice that were running away more fearful.
That's facts. They could have.
Mm-hmm.
Or possibility more than a fact.
Well, I don't know how much I get into genetics. You know how you got recessive and Mendelian genetics, and he was a Jesuit. We need to do a show on the Jesuit stuff. You got to write this down so we can so I won't forget. We're doing the Jesuits, and we're doing flat Earth theory coming up here real soon too, you guys. Yeah. So hold on a second here. All right, I'm gonna write that down myself. Yeah. So lost my train of thought. Just mention the Jesuits and just lose everything.
Well,
talking about Mendelian. Yes.
Yeah.
So if there's always a recessive trait, it would seem that a benefit of those without that fear, even the fight or flight, is going to be the ability of exploration, the ability to expand, the ability to take those risks. You know, they may die, but the group can learn from it and say, okay, that was a bad risk, you know. And then sometimes, oh, he took that risk and jumped in that water and swam under there and found all that food. You know what I mean? So I think it may have a purpose.
Yeah. I mean, there are all kinds on this planet.
Yes.
And to be here, you have to have, according to my understanding, the dichotomy of it all, your equal and opposite needs to exist.
Yes.
So if I am the way I am, then someone else is going to be how they are based on. So
I see what you're saying, like polarity. It's got to be balance.
Duality.
Yes, duality. Yes. You know, Eleanor Roosevelt said, do one thing every day that scares you. You know, but yeah, so now we're just going to run through 10 benefits of fear that I found on the Adventure Collection blog. And so fear keeps you safe. You know, I don't know how safe makes everyone feel. I don't know how good that is, safe, but fear acts as an internal danger alarm. It compels you to action and helps you make wise and more prudent decisions. Their assertion is without fear, you wouldn't live very long because you wouldn't be aware of or care about threats around you. You might dart across a busy road and be incapable of reacting in that split second when you realize that a car is racing towards you. When you get scared, your body reacts physically so that you can handle danger, also known as the fight or flight response, which you mentioned. Without this fear response, when you're in jeopardy, you wouldn't have the energy, focus, speed, or strength to fight or flee. And she just lay down like, lay down like people we knew who wore blue. You know what I mean?
I was saying that about the mice. That's what I was talking about. They just walk right on out there. You know, something's hunting.
Yeah.
And they're oblivious to it.
Yeah, but they've done tests, even with lions, man. If you don't run, they don't chase. Even dogs, bro. I mean, you know, you got dogs, if they're rabid, they're going to bite you. But that whole thing is like that duality you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm talking about house cats. And they're not really kin too much to lions as they are to tigers. They react different. They're more
well, yeah. I mean, in that specific instance, yeah. But I'm just saying overall, I mean, there've been instances where the prey didn't run. And it's just pawing you
against a cat.
Yeah. And it's just like, what are you gonna do?
A rat. I saw a video, a rat made the cat run.
Yeah. It's David and Goliath. Now, this is interesting. Fear helps you lose weight. This is their second point. Believe it or not, feeling a bit of fear burns more calories than when you are not afraid.
Of course.
As your pulse quickens, your body experiences a surge in adrenaline. Your metabolism goes into high gear and starts to burn sugar and fat. And your heart starts beating faster to get the resources to your muscles. In one study, physiologists at London's University of Westminster found that when subjects watch horror movies such as The Shining or The Exorcist, they burned an average of 113 calories, about the equivalent of what they would burn on a half-hour walk. Really? What say ye, Self Love? Really?
Facts.
Interesting.
I mean, it's it's also addictive because cortisol, like body produces cortisol, which causes that effect. And of course, you're going to burn more calories if you put in fight or flight. I mean, because you're going to fight or you're going to run. So I mean, it's
Hey, we had big ups to, was it Donald Cooper? No, it was Jared Cooper. Had the state record. Haywood, rest his soul, used to be talking about, man, Coop. He was big because, he hit the state record in the 100, bro. He went to Eisenhower.
Yeah.
Came out, I think, a year before me.
Oh, okay.
And he would tell me,
that was huge because Haywood was, right there.
Yeah, but this guy had the state record at the time.
Yeah.
And Self, you wouldn't see him doing all the training that other people do or nothing. He was just, and I used to ask him, man, like I asked him, I'm like, man, how you get so damn fast? And he said, running home from bullies, bro. And she would not bat an eye. So just take off running. That's incredible. You know what I mean? If I had a son, I'd hire the bullies to chase him home. Don't hurt him. I'd give you $20 every day. Chase him home. Chase him home and make him run. You know what I mean? That kid would be athletic.
I don't know how long my son would run. Maybe once or twice, if that.
All right. Fear temporarily boosts your immune system. Yeah, come on. I don't know. I can't agree with this, but let me read it and then you comment. In 2009, Coventry, United Kingdom study participants were shown a horror flick. Blood samples of the study participants were taken before and after the viewing. The results showed that physiological fear response caused the film watchers to experience a lift in activated white blood cells, the type of cells that enable you to fight disease and repair your body. The amount of blood cells you have is a marker of strength of your immune system. So should we not be showing this to people in the cancer ward and stuff all day long?
They got to add some hogwash. But, I mean, and cortisol, everything's fight or flight. I could see how that would be. To a point, because I think it would produce more red blood cells, so you could more oxygen to do what you need to do for your body. But,
yeah, to your muscles and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's an interesting theory. I mean, it'd be a great doctoral paper, thesis that somebody needs to approach.
If they actually do some, actual research, because I don't, me, I'm a cynic right now. This point in my life, almost everything they tell us is a lie. So I treat it as such. And I've used discernment within me to the information I get, whether it's a lie or not. So.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so they're saying if I watch horror films just all day, then I'm going to be losing weight and theoretically I should be in better health. There has to be a flip side to that. I mean, that stuff that's going in your consciousness all day, it's going to make me a serial killer.
Yeah, it's the cortisol that's going to destroy your body. They don't say that part.
Right. And all of that.
You're not meant to be in fight or flight
for 3 hours. Right.
I mean,
correct.
And people watching the movie know that it's, it's not going to be a real threat. And they're addicted to the fear. They're addicted to the cortisol. They're addicted to the,
Well, I mean, yeah, people know, but they still scream and,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They love it.
They're still afraid.
They scream and shout, but they're afraid, but not like their life is in danger. You know what I mean?
You haven't watched horror films with people I've watched horror films with. It's some people, and they do studies on it. They say the exact same thing that happens when you're in a real situation. Your body goes through the same processes, which is why my research has said Don't watch that shit. That's why I stopped watching the roller coaster of their programming on TV and all of the drama shows and reality this and reality that, because you're just taking yourself on that emotional roller coaster, and and you're not reserving it for your real life when you literally need to be going. So what is that dopamine too, self?
Yeah.
Actually, you're just getting that dopamine. Like you said, they're addicted, so they're getting that dopamine
Yeah.
all the time, and that can't be good.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's not. It's not. It's something that's for a purpose. It's not
Yes.
for all day, every day.
Yes. Yes. All right. So
And the people that actually fear real life run scenarios in their head over and over again that are never going to happen. They're never going to happen.
Facts. Facts. Now, they also said feeling fear in the right dose is fun and exciting. Speaking of horror movies, many people scare themselves deliberately and not just around Halloween. They ride roller coasters, they go skydiving. Come on, we need more subscribers. Or they shoot notorious white water rapids. When you step outside your comfort zone, it is fear that makes you feel alive, which is fun and exciting. The excitement generated can also help alleviate depression by increasing adrenaline, which in turn increases arousal, excitement, and glucose converted into energy. Just as caffeine can put you in an optimal state of performance, but too much can be detrimental and make you crash, a little bit of fear is a boost of adrenaline. It's nearly impossible to be thinking of your everyday pressures and worries when you're experiencing fear or feeling scared. A dose of fear is an eraser for the mind. Thoughts?
That's for who that's for. Not for me.
Yeah, when I do ride the roller coasters, I'm always in the front. Once I realize it's actually self, like you were just saying, which we'll get there, about the stuff you fear never really happens. When you ride in the middle, that's actually the scariest part. It's the worst ride on the roller coaster, and people would never know it. That's why everybody lined up to get in the front car. It's the drop and everything, how you feel and how you. It's been proven. The last car and the very first car, closest you can get to the front or the back, because if you think about how things whip, you know science more than me. Yes, but they say that the middle, and I've experienced it. When I used to ride in the middle, I'm like, man, finally somebody convinced me to get in the front car. I'm like, man, this is a lot more manageable than when I was cowering in the middle of the thing.
Well, it's exhilarating. You feel like you're in you're at the head of it.
Yeah, it's the physiological experience, man. And when I got off and I was telling them that, it was like, yeah, and it's like, that's the big secret. That's the big secret. All right. Fear gives you a natural high and a sense of empowerment. Not only is adrenaline released when you feel fear, but other chemicals as well, such as dopamine, endorphins, oxytocin, thought they said oxycontin, and serotonin. There's a good reason for that. Serotonin in particular helps your brain to work more efficiently. Fear is energy. I guess it's just written by Satan. For example, if you're a runner and you tackle the same 3-mile loop every day, you're much less likely to get into a runner's high than if you find a new and unfamiliar place with some precarious footing where you'll be a bit scared and where you'll really need to focus. So, you pink people, go out there and run through the community. The brain craves new challenges. It's the key to neuroplasticity. And every time you come through a challenge and accomplish your goals, you feel empowered. This natural biological high often lasts longer than the time you spent feeling scared, which is why you feel so great afterwards. Ralph Waldo Emerson, a known racist, we don't know what was in his heart. He said, "Do the thing, and you will have the power." Which means that the moment you decide to do something that scares you, you have already generated the energy you need to achieve it.
I agree with Emerson. I mean, like, I say run towards your fear and watch it disappear. Because it's illusionary. But it's something that can hold you back. It can be a block.
I tell you what, and as bad as the process was, and those who know what we're talking about know what we're talking about, the moments leading up to getting there, right? When you have to go to that back door every day. You're right. It's a big psych job, Self. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't nobody misinterpret what I'm saying. But yeah, the apprehension leading up to the time you had to report was probably just as freaky or more, right? Than when you were there with the guys and actually in the midst of it all. I'll leave it at that.
Well, everything happens in our mental. So when something's happened to your physical, you can separate your mental. But when you're away from the whole situation, that's all you have is the mental.
The memory of it and the future. And that's heard a quote that fear is living in the past or living in the future. If, like you said,
No,
some events that'll never happen.
It's reviewing the past,
yes.
projecting it to the future.
yes. Yes. And it's always like you said, your mind is going to make it worse. Always. Maybe that helps prepare you though. Maybe that helps you get through it. But your mind makes it worse.
Helped me.
Yeah, as long as you go to it. As long as you go to it.
There's no, as right. You. Okay, we're going, but
right.
I don't really want to go, but
right.
I'm going every day till it's over.
You knew it was a mind fuck, and you're going to be on time. All right. Fear helps you manage stress and relaxes you. Stress is fear-based. You worry that things won't turn out right. We were just talking about this. Yeah. Or the way that would be most beneficial for you. Physically under stress, your body and brain are bombarded with adrenaline and dopamine, which speed up your heart rate and blood pressure, flooding your muscles with oxygen to prepare you for the fight or the flight. Your senses buzz to life. That cascade of natural opioids released from your brain makes the noise in your head fade, and you may feel very calm.
I don't think I've experienced that, but.
Well, I was trying to liken it to the whole thing we were just talking about, on your way to the whole, you're already in there.
And all that.
Yeah, and you're on your way to the whole, now you're already in the house and you're on your way to the, yes,
Yeah, like I said, I didn't really have, I didn't have no fear at that part. It was like, man, it was before I got there. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I would agree with you.
The first physical stance of being there.
Yeah.
That was gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Typically that's the experience too. I don't know about the opioids and the dopamine, but I can say when it was all over, I mean, when the whole thing was over, you do realize there's a high you're not getting anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're off that roller coaster. All right. Fear helps you stay in the present moment and to focus. Thinking about the future outcome of something unknown can be enough to scare you. If you're feeling a little worried or anxious about it, in other words, fearful, you can harness that fear to get you to focus on whatever work or planning that needs to be done. I sure as hell did that.
Yeah.
Wow, this would have been nice to have, before the whole process. You know what I mean? Give a flyer out and explain this.
Understood it.
While the adrenaline that's released when you're scared alerts your nervous system to get into gear. Norepinephrine, another hormone that is released, keeps you focused instead of panic. Norepinephrine allows clearer thinking under stress, which is why it's used in many antidepressants. We live in a world of constant mind-numbing distractions. Fear snaps us out of TV watching and web surfing mode into being fully awake and alert. Any comments?
I don't know if it's fear, but there is a, you know, a feeling I get when something it might be dangerous. I don't think that's fear though, and it seems like they're equating that their gut brain feeling. You know what I mean? I don't equate that with fear. Just alertness, trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, when I was abducted,
Yeah,
there's no fear until probably afterwards, and I wouldn't even call that fear, but I know what you're saying. Yeah,
yes, it's not fear. It's a alertness. It's a something. I think they calling it the wrong term.
Well, I think maybe we don't have that stiffening gene, and we had been through what we had been through. I'm just saying, maybe for some people it processes as quote unquote fear, and other people it processes as preparedness and readiness and a stoicism and they've learned some kind of way to, I don't know, manage it, which we'll get into in the second half, but we'll get there. All right. Fear socializes you and bonds you to other people. When you feel fearful, oxytocin is released, a hormone associated with pro-social behavior. Oxytocin makes you seek out the comfort of others. The brain's survival instinct is to pair with other humans in order to increase the chances of survival. The classic image of people huddling together on the couch while watching a scary movie is a perfect example. I wish more people been through what we've been through, because this is interesting, ain't it?
Very.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, I think it's a misnomer. I don't think that's fear. I think that's.
I agree. Anxious anticipation, maybe?
No, it's more of survival. I mean, like, things happen when you're alone, or if you're off in an isolated group. When you get together with other people, them same things don't occur or not allowed to occur. And I don't think that's fear, at least my interpretation of what was read.
Yeah, but you've seen fear. You've seen fear of those guys who didn't make it. You've seen them urinating on themselves, etc. You've seen it.
Yeah. I don't. That's them.
You've heard them talk. You've heard them talk.
Yeah, we don't.
Trying to spread that vibration to everybody else in the group. You've heard it.
Yeah.
We all should quit.
We all put it down. Oh, I didn't have nobody say that to us, because they did less than that, and I was like, yeah, him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I would turn and walked away. I didn't listen to that.
Yeah.
Very much.
Yeah, but you've heard them talk.
Yes, I have.
Some of them might even finished. But you've heard the talk.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about and all that.
Psyching themselves out and,
trying to psych everybody out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're not the leader here.
That's right. Let's just not go today. Oh, fuck you. You know what I mean? All right. Yeah, here we go.
What?
Yeah, we're gonna leave you standing right here. You're gonna be standing right here. All right. Fear allows you to. This number 9. We only got one more after this. And I think we got a break. Fear allows you to live life to the fullest. When you fear something, you have a choice. You can let that fear stop you, or you can face it head on and expand the possibilities and opportunities. Being afraid of something can alert you to the area of your life that is limiting you. For instance, if you're afraid of flying but face the fear and muster up the courage to step on an airplane, you can travel the world. Adding to your experiences mean that you'll create a varied and full life, which is extremely rewarding. You'll have fewer regrets. So they're saying a benefit of fear is it allows you to live into your fullest to your last breath.
I can hear that. I still don't call it fear, but I understand what they're saying, understand what they're saying as well. I mean, to grow, you got to get out of your box, and that's uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable, but it's not fear though. It's uncomfortable, but it's a necessary part of the process, and it's just a different choice of words,
Right.
So I understand and understand what they're saying.
Right. Yeah, because cats came around afraid from the beginning. You got a long walk to walk. You already afraid, and we're just at the informational. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't even be here. You know what I mean?
Right. Everybody got their path to walk.
Fear gives you last one. Fear gives you clarity on what's really important in life. When you're fearful for a sick child, an aging parent, or a career move, your fear can be a great clarifier on how to take care of what is truly most important in your life, like learning your history. How often have you said to yourself, when I have more time, I'll spend it with my family, pursue my passion, eat healthier, or exercise more? Fear makes you realize that now is the only time you have to achieve and follow through on what is important. Later is never guaranteed. So, I got not mine, but I got the high blood pressure reading, you know what I mean? And it was like a wake up call. Now, again, I'm not going to talk fear because I don't fear the other side. I don't fear, leaving this place. But there was, it did get my focus because I don't feel like I'm finished here, if you know what I mean.
You want to live your best life.
Yeah, I got more to do.
Yeah, you want to treat this vehicle as good as you can once you understand what that means and how to do it.
Correct. And I was conscious when I was doing everything that, I can't live like this forever. You know what I mean? You're conscious of it. We read and write. And, we have a certain level of understanding, as you just said, and you know what I mean? Just like I'm not 500 pounds, and big ups to everybody who is. You know what I'm saying? You have a sense that I can't just eat this whole cake every day. Do you know what I'm saying?
I can attest that between me and you, but a lot of these beings, I can't give them credit for that understanding or level of it. But I definitely concur with what you're saying between us, because
I was going to send you a YouTube of a guy who went to the other side. He posted it like 2 weeks ago, and black guy. Some of the things he said was kind of reminding me of what you said, but he was an overweight cat, and that was his message, man. Like, take care of your health, and I think it snapped him back into, I can't keep living like this because, you know what I mean?
Basically, that's what my two huge experiences with Saint and getting hit have told me. And I'm working hard because I don't want the third, because that might be it. So
I feel you. And rest up to the Saint. So they say the sweet spot of fear self. Some say where fear meets courage is the sweet spot in which mountains get scaled and rivers are run, ships are built. I added that. Most of all, fear can be the birthplace of change, creativity, and innovation. We should all embrace our fear. This is the dark side here. This sounds like it's straight out of Star Wars.
I mean, it's got to be, because that sounds like the election process that we're going through and seeing. You got to embrace your fear, because goddamn it, you got the other guys. It sounds like the media.
Doesn't it sound like the emperor talking to Luke Skywalker?
Some
We
complete propaganda.
we should all embrace our fear, Luke. Come to the dark side.
Yes.
Not the big fears that are life threatening, but the helpful fears that come in small doses.
Right.
A little fear really wants the best for a little fear really wants the best for us, as Eleanor Roosevelt suggested, and transforms us into better people, healthier and more engaged people. And I know what you're saying. It could be the moniker they're using, but I mean, that's almost one of the points of the process.
Yeah. And still, I don't call it fear. I mean, well, during the process, yes, I would call it fear. But perseverance, I was afraid then. I did have fear that, the process. But after that, it's like,
yeah, and that's just facing an unknown.
yes. And I guess it's possible that it eliminate that gene. The process could eliminate that.
Now,
gene.
for many of us, there's levels to it. I agree, Self, because think about when we were in situations as a group afterwards.
Yeah.
And didn't appear that nobody had that gene. At least I'd say 95% didn't have that gene, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could be rooted out because it's all a mental process and thing the whole time.
The whole time. Big ups to the process. Big ups to the process, Self.
Oh, huge ups to the process.
Hey, you guys, like, share, and subscribe. As you know, we are covering fear. All right, so we're almost at halftime, but the cons of fear, Self. Can you think of any downsides of this fear?
The same time they say that what's secreted in your body is great for you, I'm saying it's not. It isolates. It isolates, and leaves things that are very important to health out of it.
I agree. And, fear can make people, smoke 5 packs of cigarettes a day, it's funny because this science goes contradictory to the science. That's why I was so shocked. It says fear weakens our immune system. The other science was saying that it strengthens it.
It's the lowest vibrations. How can it
be any good to it? Fear can cause cardiovascular damage.
Yes.
Gastrointestinal problems such as ulcers and IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and decreased fertility.
Yeah.
It can lead to accelerated aging, which is probably why these people look so much older than we do It can lead to accelerated aging and even premature death.
Of course.
It can affect memory. It can affect your willingness to take risk, like taking the final shot in a basketball game.
Yeah.
Investing, seeking higher education, or other accomplishments or achievements.
Hey, what they didn't say with the benefits was that was only a short time that you were afraid and all of that. They ain't talking about
long term.
Yeah, no, right after that period's over, it goes the way you're talking. That's the way it does.
So that's what I was saying.
Leading up to that. All the way leading up to that.
a give and take. You know, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. The damage of watching a horror film 24 hours a day, it can't any good come from that.
No.
You know, it's probably like the high of a crack pipe or MEP. You know, you got all this dopamine and things going on,
Yeah.
but you're losing your mind. Also, failure to network, maybe, you know, stay in the ship or approach potential mates, like soulmates, step into a girl or a girl step into a guy or whatever your bag is. No guts, no glory, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So that's science. This is why Self Love and I, you know, we have an issue with science, pseudoscience. One scientist says one thing and the other one says the exact opposite.
And they use the data that they have to prove it. You know, their you know, theory or thesis anyway.
And anything you seek, you're going to find. So they go into, science tells you to go into it with a theory.
Yeah.
And the word says, seek and you will find. As a man thinketh, so is he. Whatever a man can conceive, he can achieve. That's why we had two different types of electricity, DC and what was the other one? Am I saying this right? Yeah. Two different ways to get to the same result, you know. That's interesting. So, but I badly need this halftime here.
As do I. Halftime. Y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all. We honor y'all. Without y'all, it's no us.
Facts.
Y'all know what it do. It's the Self Love Show, and we are breaking down or unpacking how the illusion of fear affects mankind. We discussed a myriad of topics in the first half, along with, you know, the origins and, you know, how we feel about it. But we will explode even more. Got a few videos for you to check out. Very interesting. And we'll be right back at you.
That's right. It's halftime.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change.
24 years ago today, iconic rapper Tupac Shakur was shot here in Las Vegas.
The rapper was shot inside of a BMW while stopped at a red light on Koval and Flamingo. We all know the story. He then died 6 days later. The shooting happened after a Mike Tyson fight against Bruce Sheldon at MGM Grand. And then there was a brawl inside of the lobby right after that fight. Tupac was in the car with Marion Suge Knight, who was grazed by a bullet. No one has ever been arrested for Tupac's murder.
So as soon as you blow the candle, yourself, as you are now, appears. It's just a moment in time. What do you say? What bit of advice would you give to your 9-year-old self?
That's a good one. That's a good one. I would say follow your dreams. Don't let anybody stop you. Spend more time with your kids, okay? Because they do love you, and they'll go to the ends of the earth with you. And when you find that true love, don't hurt her. Don't hurt her. You know, I say this, and I'm not gonna be gushy or anything like that. I don't want anything.
No, speak on it, bro.
But real talk, you know, like I said, I've been married for a long, long time, and my wife and I have been through everything. You know, there's been a lot of developments in my family where, you know, my son, for instance, he developed schizophrenia at the age of 16. Never saw it happen. My children, where I thought that I was moving to a utopia, you know, that being in the south suburbs turned into a hell. You know, I would say, don't do it. The balance in my life and the decisions that I've made, good, bad, or indifferent, I'm the result of those decisions. But the one thing that I would say is, don't intentionally or unintentionally hurt those who have a blind trust in you. Because it takes a lifetime to get that back. A lifetime to get that back. And it's, you know, it's one of those things where you could personally have everything that you want, but if you hurt that one person that means the most to you, everything else means nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, wow. Well said.
That's what I would tell my 9-year-old self.
Hey, bros, what's going on? This is Cotton. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Do you still have them?
I do.
They don't know.
They gonna know for sure, Trafe. Hey, we gotta bring Trafe Mac back, bro. Hey, that's gotta be on the high priority.
I'm with that.
Welcome back to the Self Love Show, where we are unpacking how the illusion of fear affects the melanated. I might be a little controversial, but I don't really care about human or mankind. Deal with man and woman. But big ups to TATN, where the content they present is amazing. And my opinion is not necessarily their opinion.
They don't know. I'ma be the one. I'ma be the one when I'm done. Big ups, Trifo. Self Love say we're gonna make it get you back on the show, bro. Most freaky tick. Anywhere. Yeah, that was a little homie.
A blessing though.
Facts. Facts, facts, facts. All right, let's go ahead and fade this out because the algorithm be on some complete haterade. Everything we do over here, they'll learn though. We can show them better than we can tell them, right, Self?
All day, every day.
Absolutely. So you guys, Self just said what we're covering. Today's quote was, "Do not be afraid to give up the good to go for the greater. Do not be afraid to give up the good to go for the greater." That's exactly what we're about. That quote was by Unknown. So
Facts. It's
facts.
right in line with what we're saying. Like, only way to grow is to get out of your box. And it's not the most comfortable feeling because your box, you can control that part.
Right.
So expand your box.
Right. You got to get outside the homeostasis, to expand.
It's the only way.
Then you'll reach a new level of homeostasis, and then you want to get outside that box too.
Yeah. Gain comfort, then get uncomfortable. Gain comfort, then get uncomfortable. So get uncomfortable, you grow, and then you gain comfort, and then you get uncomfortable and gain comfort.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like working out, hitting the weights. And then next thing you know, your muscles are sore, you got to stretch. And then pretty soon, that weight, you're lifting it like it's nothing. Right. And if you want to keep expanding.
Like, oh, wait a minute. Put some more in there.
Exactly. That's if you want to keep expanding. So, all right. So let's push it on, Brody. We got we want to get more into how this is affecting the so-called Black community. So I want to talk about fear, or so-called fear, I should say. How is it used as a tool of control?
There was something I didn't mention before that, like, a lot of things have been passed down genetically that have happened to our ancestors. So
go on.
That developed a fear. Like a lot of people live their whole life in fear. They watch the media and it's all about fear. They watch the so-called politicians, or what do you call them? I don't know what you want to call them, but fear, and everything is fear-based. And we have to move past that.
You raise a good point, how fear is being used as a tool of control, conditioning. Even if you take the Willie Lynch letter as whether it's whether it was real or
True.
not.
Yeah, yes.
Right. That whole philosophy behind it is some say the Bible creates a whole lot of fear out there.
Yeah, because they took a whole lot of the Bible out. Like they said that during the time where slavery was occurring, that it was only 22 books to the Bible they gave to the so-called preacher. They left a whole lot out. Only gave a limited amount of information for complete indoctrination.
Yeah. Yeah, in the Bible, the overlaying message, even when you get into all through it, Old Testament, New Testament, David facing the fear, Yahusha. I mean, you can go on and on and on. The whole message is about standing up to tyranny and facing fear, but the way it's manipulated, it highlights when they say things like, honor your master or your lord and things like that, and it creates little slaves. But we can go further. I would say the police department, they like to use fear.
Intimidation.
Yes. Give me your ID or you're going to go to jail. When you get to jail, they're going to butt rape you.
The whole system. The whole system is like fear-based.
You're going to lose your job and you're going to get anal assaulted. We could probably say that. Yeah, they use that, all of that. I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to tase you. You're going to lose your job.
It's tyranny. And they don't have to protect us, but they can do tyranny. It's outdated. It's over with for that.
I say many businesses.
It's over with for that.
Facts,
it's done.
Indeed.
So y'all system gonna fall.
Yeah. Yeah. People say that's the way it was and that's the way it is. But that's not the way it's going to be. So I say, corporations or employers, many of them tend to fan fear. We're going to lose employees. We're going to have to fire some people. You need to get out there and make these deals happen.
They'll reduce workforce to buy a plane.
Yeah.
And it's all, by design.
Yeah. And they like to tell you things like, how are you going to pay your mortgage? How are you going to pay your rent if you leave this job? How are you going to raise your kids and pay your car payment? Things of that nature. The same way I've been doing it.
Yeah, and I like to ask them the same thing. How are you going to do it if I'm not here to do this job for you? About that?
Oh, well, we'll just get the next guy.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing.
Line them up there. Why are you talking to me? I'm leaving. So you ain't got to talk to me.
I'll get the next job. I always tell them, I was looking for a job when I came in here, and you know what I'm saying? I'll be looking for. That's the quote. One of the beauties of America. There's places if you want a job, you can get a job 9 times out of 10. So, but yeah, employers. Can you think of any other? The so-called street gangs, the social clubs. Many of them fan fear.
Yeah, it wasn't initially what they were formed or about, but
no, I agree.
There's the end result is what it is. So
well, the iteration. What I mean by that is, join our clique, and these guys won't be bothering you, and we won't be bothering you. Allegedly, that's not always the way it is, but yeah, it's a safety net.
That's yeah, I can say I witnessed some guys that got involved because they were weak on their own.
Yeah. Those become your everyday foot soldiers 9 times out of 10. Your crash test dummies, many of them. You remember, what's his name? He was my roommate, and he was from L.A. at U of I. For Sublet It. Remember Andrew was home that summer?
Yeah.
Man, talk about a female cat. And then so He dropped out of U of I, moved back to South Central, and I got word that he was calling it for the Crips, like one of the Crip sets. He's probably out here. I can't think it's him calling itself. He had to have a family member or somebody. He was probably Tukey, rest his soul. He's probably Tukey's son or nephew or something. We just didn't put it all together. Remember,
He put it together, though.
You guys are Marcus Liberty, and you guys are great. Maybe he was just as smart as a fox and playing a role, but they said he was the man.
Well, all I can say, there's probably been lesser men that's been the man.
Facts. Yeah, I have to think of his name and then look him up because I could probably find him out here.
Yeah.
Probably already ran across him, you know what I mean? He probably all swole. Like, man, if you don't shut the fuck up, I don't care how many guns you got around. You guys, please, I don't want to disrespect the chief around y'all, you know what I mean? If you don't come over here and shut the fuck, me and you, we got to talk, you know what I mean? All right, big ups to him. His name is on the tip of my tongue. Remember he had that big ass sound system from Renter Center, and he left, moved back to we said it on full black in the basement apartment, blowing up the whole alley, man. And Renter Center used to come banging on the door, boy. I finally gave him this stuff back. I never should have, looking back on it all. They didn't deserve it. I was like, well, he ain't here. Man, they used to come banging on the door 3, 4 deep. Something bad was going to happen, and I knew it. So I'm like, man, just give them their shit. Because they was coming through there like they was gangsters, and one day the regulators was in there, and it was going to be a problem. They was going to get drug in the crib.
Yeah, it's been a problem.
Yeah, coming around here like that. No, I should have been like, this ain't the system. They got to come in and look at it and match the numbers. You ain't matching shit. You know what I'm saying? And they knew, They knew once I moved. They knew. If I was thinking right, man, I should have took that shit to the fun house, man. Y'all come on in here. Ain't shit here.
Like, what are you talking about? He left. He took that.
He packed all that shit up and took it. Yeah. Damn.
Nah, but he did the right thing.
We did the right thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, all right. We got sidetracked. Reggie, was that his name? Reggie?
Yep.
Can't think of his last name, though.
I don't think we want to say it.
If it don't say it, yeah.
We'll figure that out. I don't can't remember it, but Reggie definitely ding 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 ding.
I was like, you find him, tell him he owe me rent because he left without paying like a month of rent or something, Right. Right. All right. So we talked about how it could be used, like you said, good word, intimidation. And it's been still used as a tool to kind of control our communities. You said the politicians earlier. You mentioned that. They use fear tactics.
I also
vote for me or you're going to get him. Go ahead.
I also left out the preachers. I mean, the whole...
Oh, they fan it.
The religious...
Put your money in here and you're going to go to hell. Yeah.
If you don't give me 10% of your earnings, you're going to hell.
You're going to hell. It says it right here in the Bible.
Lies.
Well, it's misinterpreted, and like you said, so lies because it's been translated so many times. And
no, it's been not saying exactly what come out of the book. It's taking, and what these people do.
Yeah.
They take 2 sentences or 3, maybe 5 at the most.
Yeah.
And talk to you for 45 minutes to an hour about 2 or 3, 4 sentences.
Don't they? And then they piecemeal it. You ain't lying. They piecemeal it. They'll read.
No, they'll tell you. They'll give you their interpretation. They'll read what it says, and then they'll tell you what it says.
Yeah. They'll read like 2 verses and be talking for an hour, and then they piecemeal it too. Yes. They won't say, well, today we're doing these 2 verses, and next Sunday we're doing the 2 verses following that. They be just all over the book, piecemealing something, and it all comes down to putting money in that plate.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and you know they're making up shit a whole lot. So,
Well, think of the hustle they had, man, when churches started itself, and the majority of people were illiterate. Now you still got that issue, and some of these churches, first of all, people won't read. So they won't hold on.
Right.
They won't read the scripture, and then so not only that, they don't comprehend what they're reading. But what was you about to say?
yeah, most people are illiterate.
Yeah.
They can sound out the words.
Yeah.
But they have no understanding of what's going on. And it's 90% of people.
Well, when I was in grade school, man, like we couldn't just read eloquently and wax poetic. Like if we went in front of the class and read, and then the teacher would say, "And what does that mean?" My mom used to do it.
What and how they taught at Ray has been long extinguished.
Like I told you. Yeah, you're right. That's very true.
They're not teaching like
That's
that
very
at
true.
all.
That's very true. The critical thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Even my mom used to do it. And what does that mean? She'll have me read something, even if it was instructions or something, and what does that mean? Yeah. Yeah. And I'd be like, oh, then she'd be like, well, read it again. You know what I'm saying? She's like, you sound good, but you got to know what you're reading. Yeah. Yeah. Rest her so. All right.
All praises due.
Yes, sir.
Mama's got.
All right, so this is the science or the illusion of fear and how it affects the Black community. How has the concept, Self, because we know this word fear. I mean, to me, it's all cap. And I've learned that through the processes of my life. How has the concept of fear affected our community as of today?
There are many who operate out of fear and do much less than they could do. And also put a heart and soul into something that's not going to do anything or benefit them. So fear keeps our whole community locked in the underclass status.
We got H. Moultrie. Big ups, H. Moultrie. He says they don't watch news. I don't watch news. Or don't vote. That's fear as well. I don't know. You have to explain what you mean by that, H. Moultrie. And he says, instead of getting up early and starting your day, you get up after 12 noon. That's fear. I mean, if you work till 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, I mean, some people have a different schedule. But I do know your point. If you're laying up all day, I would agree with you there. That is a source of quote unquote fear. That would be a low vibration. And he had some other points we'll come back to. So I wanted to address this as well. The Black community, how is it affecting us? I think many of us are afraid of 12. We've been conditioned to be afraid of those who we pay. Civil servants, politicians, afraid of the man. I think that has a lot to do with what's affecting our communities. We're afraid of one another. To your point, H. Moultrie, you mentioned like watching the news. Well, you watch that news and the only thing they're showing is black on black crime, and they're not showing all the white on white crime that's going on. not in the right, and if it's not in the proper context, and you have no one around you that can break that down and explain to you with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X and many others, you know, and maybe your parents are explaining to you that it's all cap and that there's no need to fear yourself, meaning fearing your own people. So that's why many of us, you know, we all got guns and we're walking around the street waiting for something that probably would never happen. Now, depending on your experiences, you know, we've all had experiences that make someone
Also,
says never.
Energy and frequency, which can draw it to happen.
Correct. It can definitely be like a magnet and attracted towards you. I think fear makes us, many of us, eat fat back and, you know, fried foods all day, you know, the comfort foods, so to speak. Now, you know, we'll work, but we won't work to start a business. So fear will have us punching a clock, you know, for our entire lives instead of venturing off and, you know, starting our own companies, our own small businesses, and you know, running that could be a factor. Just thinking of some other concepts in our community.
You hit on a lot of points. Like fear of ourselves is a massive one.
Yeah, you see another brother and can't look this brother in the eye, or even a young man, and say, "What up, brother? What up, King?"
Don't see him as a brother.
Right. And a lot of that goes back to the conditioning you were talking about since we were prisoners of war in this country.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing those powers that be instilled a fear of them within us, but they also had us fighting each other and turned us against each other. And a lot of that, there may still be some lag in that, you know. And then, of course, we have tribalism, but the tribes didn't used to just murk each other. That's just another lie they've told us in history.
Yeah, I think a whole lot of that is cap, and they taught. We learned a lot of that during the process, and like you said, and you know,
and I mean, fear in our community leads to a lot of the murders.
Yeah, it's a whole low vibration, and a lot of the murders their foundation is from long ago, and it's only built to where these people are involved at this time. They lost people all the way up until, and it's like if for instance, FBD Duck, FBG Duck, my
rest his soul.
Yes, all respect due. But her mama then lost 3 sons.
Definitely 2 sons and a daughter in a fire, and a nephew though.
Yeah, okay.
Who was, you know, grew up with Duck.
With them, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe even 3 though. I know she mentioned something else recently that
I thought it was.
But 2 to violence and the nephew to violence. And then the daughter, rest her soul, was lost in a fire.
Yeah. You know, it's cyclical when you stay a few blocks from each other, you know what I mean? It's back and forth leads to that. Just a depletion of everybody and all our warrior energy. And
facts.
that's a issue and a problem because we need our warrior energy for the times that's coming.
Well, but to your point, I was just listening to an interview with King Yella on a podcast. You know, he's from Chi, but he fled the city. I guess I can't talk. I fled the city, but I didn't flee the city. Left for professional reasons, but love Chicago. But he said that when he was doing his stretch, his son, who is, I was just watching this today, his son is 13 now. And so his rivals, King Yella's rivals, were like the cats from O Block. And I think those are the BDs. And he said that his baby mama was living in O Block, Self, up until like 2 years ago. And the son would be telling his dad that they would, the son's running around saying who his dad is. And the kids, would be fighting him over that. And so it's to your point about the pendulum, the generation of this. And now his son is probably developing the hate for the same guys, and his dad is mentoring youth now and, convincing them to do the right thing. It's just weird, but it's all out of a sense of fear.
And it's by design, and it's cyclical, not cyclical. This generation, at this point, it's circular. It's just 360, 720, 1440.
It's rotating.
And yes, it's just, and it's way past that because it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, that's why I say a pendulum.
Yeah. It's actually the same thing.
Yeah. And it's so, and it's more kids, so you have a greater pool because, as time goes, people increase number of lives. One person can have 4 kids, and so now out of those 4 kids, you might just only have 1 or 2 that goes down that path, but it's still adding to the pendulum.
For each of us to be here, our equal and opposite has to be here in the matrix.
Now, yeah. You don't go to work is fear. Yeah. I guess that could be a form of fear. I guess that could be a form of fear. I mean, but I would also say, if that's all you do, that could be a form of fear as well.
If you don't live your life to the fullest and you stay inside and just go to work, that's fear. You're right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It could be a form of fear, I was just listening to one of my motivational recordings, as I'm working out in the morning. And it was talking about the 15 regrets you can have in your life. And that was one thing they pointed out. Just working all the time and not really enjoying the fruits of your labor and, spending time with family and things
Smelling
like
the
that.
Flowers.
Yeah.
Health is wealth.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else.
Yeah.
Because when you don't have your health, all your wealth is pretty much meaningless.
Facts. Now, why are many of us, many, not all, or I could say some, why are many of us raised in fear by our parents and or guardians?
Religion, white supremacy, and things that have happened to our people blatantly. In that order.
Yep. It's all wrapped up in the same bag. But I agree. All of that is coming from the same thing, and it's white supremacy or white inferiority, pink supremacy.
Pink and white fragility. No, pink fragility. Pink fragility. That's where we need to go. Pink fragility.
How about this? Pink impotency. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Pink impotency. Yeah. But or pink fragility. Well said. I think it's rooted in protection. So, do what that policeman says, because there's been a history of the policemen just shooting people up.
Yeah.
So it's, son, when they stop you, just obey them. And he asks you for ID and you haven't done nothing, just give him your ID, tell him your name, be a good little boy. As opposed to raising them to assert their rights like the little Muslim kids do in the Nation of Islam. But it's protection, Self. I want
agree.
my child to come home by any means necessary.
Agreed.
I had to stop saying, one of the biggest phrases in Chicago, be safe. I flipped it to like be encouraged, be daring, be ambitious. You know what I mean? Because safe is not always best.
Well, I interpret safe a little bit different. I still use be safe. Because that means I'm clear of danger and alert for any of it. So anything comes, I'm gonna see it coming and do what I need to do to be safe.
Yeah.
My interpretation.
I hear you. I've moved beyond safe. My wife says, and I've been telling her to stop saying that to me. When I'm going out to conquer the fucking world. I'm not going out to be safe.
Right.
I'm a king. You know what I'm saying? So like when the king leaves his castle, he doesn't want to be here and be safe. You know what I mean? I understand where she's coming from. I understand that that's coming from a place of love, but it's also coming from a place of fear. Nothing's gonna happen to me. I walk on water. Or even if you mix it up from time to time,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when she says it, I'll say, I ain't gonna hurt nobody. You understand what I'm saying? Right.
So that's a great response. So
right. It adds balance to it.
Yeah. That makes it what it is, actually. Because
yeah,
shit, she's saying be safe. He said, shit, I ain't gonna hurt nobody, so it's gonna be safe.
It's gonna be safe. Right. But it's just a matter of philosophy. But that's this word stew we live in. You know what I mean? So now you made me think. Correct. That's what I was looking for.
This language we speak is a spell. That's why they teach us spelling.
Okay, so the definition of it is a definition of safe is protected from or not exposed to danger or risk. And that's what I'm talking about. Not likely to be harmed or lost. And that's what you said. But danger or risk. Risk isn't always bad.
That's facts. And to risk every time you expand your consciousness, every time you step outside of your box.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. But I would.
To me, it's almost like a magnet. But go ahead. It could be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
To me, I think I need to look up safe in a unabridged dictionary that has the etymology to take us back to origin of safe for us to really have a great definition or understanding. And I say that because a lot of the words actually mean in law, and when uh, some people are using them, that the origin word, not what you think it means from these dictionaries now, because they changed the pronunciation, and they changed the the meaning of the words, and they don't mean the same thing. And it's a spell, because this language we speak is a commerce language. It's not a real language. It's a language that was built on commerce from a lot of different people coming to visit our people here.
Well, I went to Webster's, and this is, more updated. It's not the old one out of the stacks. The first is free from harm or risk, unhurt.
Yeah,
Right?
I hear you, and I'm saying these definitions are.
The second is secure from threat of danger, harm, or loss. But this is what most people mean by this when they're talking, because this is the only thing they're going by, is their knowledge of what these words mean. Unless they've been taught in the etymology that you're speaking on, then when they speak these words to you, this is what they mean. Um, Successful at getting to a base in baseball without being put out. Affording safety or security from danger, risk, or difficulty. Obsolete of mental or moral faculties. 5. Not threatening danger or being harmless. Do you see? You see what I'm saying? I'm a
Yes,
warrior.
I completely understand that, and that's
Right.
not
Hold
even
on.
what it means.
But this is what it means to most people, because this is the only thing they know. They don't know. Now, if you're talking subconscious, that's different. But that I'm saying, if you're taught from the Webster's dictionary, like most of us were,
Right.
and you were learning in schools, like most of us did, these are the words they're using, and this is what they mean by them.
Absolutely. We're
Right.
not saying
So that's why
anything
I'm. That's
different.
why. That's why I'm reading it. So I'm almost finished. Unlikely to produce controversy or contradiction. See, that's not me. Unlikely to produce controversy or contradiction. Not threatening danger. Yeah, I don't do that, but hey, if it's a time and a place. Not likely to take risk. And this is what I'm drawing from it when I hear people say it, and this is why I changed my usage of the word, because I actually looked it up. Trustworthy or reliable. Okay, well, that's good. Be safe, be trustworthy or reliable. That's 6B. And that's probably where the origin of the word comes from. Be trustworthy and reliable. That might be, if I went into the etymology of it, that's probably what it is, and they got it buried in the last place. A place or receptacle to keep articles such as a safe, and then that's all they got. So I bet yourself, if we dug deeper, it probably means trustworthy and reliable.
Yeah, it's not going to mean most of those definitions.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. Get an older dictionary, even from Webster, or unabridged.
Well, yeah, because it goes into the Latin roots and from Greek and all of that, and then you have to go on to that.
From wherever it goes, but it says it. It says it like right on there, up there.
Yeah,
It
like
tells
origins.
you what it meant, how it was spelled.
Yeah,
to deal with the all the parts of speech.
right. But like I said, like you ain't arguing it, but yeah, we all use it, and if we're using it without knowing that, you know what I mean?
Knowledge of certain things that matters not. That's why I say it's a spell. There's a lot of words that don't mean
No,
what
I agree.
people think it is, and they keep using them because that's the norm and that's what we've been taught and all that, and it keeps everything where we at. It's a spell, and
Right, but we all use it. You use the word.
yeah,
I've used the word. My
yeah,
wife uses the word. And if
yes,
we're all using it and not doing the research, then we're all under the same spell.
we are.
Right. And that's why I don't use this particular word.
Right. I respect that.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if someone presented to me information that it meant something different from my understanding, then we can draw off of that. You know what I'm saying?
I said what it meant to me. I don't. I haven't even done the exact etymology on the word because I ain't think about that until you spoke of it.
Right. And when I thought about it, somebody brought it to me. I don't know who it was, but somebody brought that to me. I said that to them, and they like, man,
Shit, we need to be dangerous. Actually, that's what we should say. Be dangerous. Shit,
man.
and had a capacity to not use force.
I mean, we could say all kind of things. You leave. You could say move
whatever.
You could say move mountains, walk on water, be greater. All types of stuff. But be safe is like wah 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 wah. To me, you know what I mean? Like I'm going out, I'm feeling good, and be safe, and then I got to put my balls back up, and you know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? So
shit.
Like to a man, say that to my daughter. Say that to the women. Don't say that to me.
Shit, maybe you need to take it like you play it back. Like I ain't gonna hurt nobody. So shit.
Yeah, that's what I started saying.
Yeah. So that might be that's the perfect response. And
I don't hear it as much anymore. So
right.
But I know it's from a place of love, though. I mean, don't get me wrong.
100%.
Right. Even when I was
this language we speak is a spell. So shit, you ain't gonna get an argument out of me about that.
All right. Well, let's. So we talked about our parents, and you did a good job covering that. And I think also you have to look at how our parents were conditioned by their parents and so forth and so forth. And this is going back a long way. And I forgot to tell y'all that alarm went off during the halftime itself for how long those pigs stood there listening to those kids screaming for their life in Uvalde. That's how long they stood there and listened. All right. What would happen? What do you think would happen? Speaking of spells, if I had a magic wand and I eradicated fear from our community, what do you think would happen? If I had one wish and boom, I want to get rid of fear out of black people.
Just out of black people or all people?
We're talking about our community here. The topic is black people. I'm talking about black people, our community.
Then there probably would be, I don't know if we can say slaughter, but
You think there'd be a lot more murder, death, kill?
yeah, because if it wasn't all people, then the people that's the problem wouldn't stop. So it would be the majority clamping down on the minority around the planet.
Right, which is us. We're the majority.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily see an uprising. I see maybe be a lot more skirmishes.
Well,
I tend to be a bit more optimistic in the view. I see more people
I'm just
being
saying,
self-sufficient. I see more people starting businesses. I see more people asserting their rights. I see more people hiring attorneys and suing police departments and suing people who disrespect them. I mean, I could be naive. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong.
I'm saying in the sense of enough is enough, and it will be handled with justice. The time is coming where it's gonna be justice, and I don't know if it's through this system that they built or whatever, but enough is enough. And it seems like all around the world, the people are saying enough is enough.
Okay. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I can agree with that. I also see people working together, us working together in other ways, to build our communities.
I'm actually saying the same thing because
Yeah. Yes, we are. But I think fear makes us join gangs. Fear makes us shoot at one another. So, I mean, I'm just saying on the micro, just talking about us, not necessarily what we would do to others. You've made that point, and I agree to that point. I'm talking about something a bit different though. What we're doing to each other, yeah, it's definitely hand in hand. We're doing it in each other we're doing stuff to each other because of the manipulation that's been imposed upon us to a certain extent. But once people are adults, they definitely know better. They definitely have a sense of, not all people, they definitely have a sense of what's going on around them.
I don't know. I mean,
okay, so
I'm
so
just
if a
saying
40-year-old broke in your house,
no, I'm just saying like I'm not.
it's different than
about,
a 14-year-old breaking
yes,
in your house.
that's facts, and I'm just saying that's facts, but I'm saying you are always giving the masses somewhere near your level of understanding.
Because this is about fear. The masses are
I don't think you know the fear
seduced
of the masses
and intoxicated by, this is the premise, Self. I have a magic wand and I eradicated fear from the community. This is the premise. So we take that as a given. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So, I mean, we could say, I mean, all right, and I agree with you, there will be some uprisings. But then after those uprisings, now what?
I mean, there will be people that work in agreement with us.
But I'm saying that the end goal. So, we burn it all down, we rebuild it. What do you think it would be like for us? The way it was before the West infected us?
No, it's gonna be something different. I'm not sure we can get back to what we did before, but I think we can expand and go further. But I don't think it's gonna be the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting concept, Noob. So so my premise is that fear is the absence of love. It can only exist when there's no love.
And I'm saying the lowest vibration, so we're agreed upon.
Right. And I know when you get to the root of it, even the little homies, they're warriors, but they're moving out of fear, bro. Fear that somebody's gonna take their block, take their way to feed themselves. Fear that somebody's gonna take their girl.
Yeah, I can't, say that that's not true. I know that it's the lowest vibration, and
Fear of hunger.
People, man, they have fear about shit that's never going to occur or happen ever in this matrix.
Correct.
And they keep themselves fixated on that.
Correct.
And fear does exist. I mean, but it's cap. It's BS.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, okay, and I've had this belief. Me and Todd, Eric with the mole, because if I say his last name, then it's such a rare last name. And Todd. We had this talk, Noop, in like 6th grade, man. I'm tripping that we had this type of conversation, and he was telling me then that, the spooks can hit a button and just ruin my whole life. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, man, they can say you did this and that and draw it all up in he was just breaking it down to me. I don't know what I told him. Yeah, and he was like, man, and lock you up forever. And my premise was that they can't. And the reason I have, and it's not that he was wrong or I was wrong, but I believe that thoughts are things.
They are.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And I feel like if like you were talking about spells, I feel like if I accept the fact
to be safe, and that's what you feel about it, then it's
correct. Because now if I accept that self, a spook can come up to me and say, if you don't go shoot Jeff Fort in the head, we're going to ruin your life. And then now I can do it. And that's the type of fear I'm talking about. If you don't do this, we're not going to give you a bag of money. And then so if you don't kill the revolutionary, we're going to lock you up for this crime that you committed. That's fear.
That's a lot of fear in this existence.
Yes.
At this point in time. But for it to be equal and opposite, where are the brave people? Are they the one putting the fear out here? Where are the people that's not afraid?
No.
I mean, not all of them, but damn clearly it's the masses deal in fear.
I think anyone or any entity that's producing fear is producing fear out of fear consciousness. They're vibrating low too. That's just my premise. I'm not saying I'm right.
Well,
yes.
I mean, when it's at, I can.
So the pink man fears the black planet, and that's why they perpetuate what they do. It's all out of fear. It's not out of courage.
No, definitely.
Courage would make you say it's an even playing field, and I'm still gonna whoop your ass. That's what courage does.
Well, they can't. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's my whole premise. I said 30 minutes ago, so I don't even know why I was questioning it.
Well, no, you're just bringing up the question. It's a good question. You know what I mean? And the chat can chime in on that too. I mean, I didn't think you asked the question because you didn't know. It's just a valid thought experiment. And I had never thought about it until you asked it. It was a great question. These people. So we're not saying all the chiefs because we talk about a different iteration, but the chief of police, the chief of some faction of a gang that's just doing nonsense in the community, right? They're going to come off as tough and, but why do they have all these guns and all this security around them? It goes back to
they don't do anything.
Correct. It goes back to correct. If the Pope has faith, why is the Pope riding around in a bulletproof car? Right.
That's all.
Exactly.
That's all they do. They,
Yeah. But 9 times out of 10, they won't just walk up and down the block. And most of them they move to the suburbs.
There was a time, but like now,
there was a time. there was a time where you had chiefs who weren't female cats. And I'm not saying all chiefs are female cats. I'm not going to sit here and say that on live TV. But I'm just saying, to answer your premise, anyone that's manufacturing fear is doing it out of fear. It can't be love.
But I'm sorry, but what chief?
Well, somebody's at the head of these little factions, but you're right. Chief is a bad term. Yeah, who's ever calling it, I should say.
Yeah. I got you.
The shot caller. Yeah, 9 times out of 10. Now, they'll listen to me and say, hey, I'm not a female cat, and like you said, I can send my guys on you and show you and whatever, and they might be able to shoot me up, right? But I'm saying my premise is it's still out of fear, though, because fear is an absence of love, and if you love yourself and if you love others, you don't worry about such.
Like that.
Correct. You don't move like that. Correct. Yeah. But a better question would be, what would happen if I took fear out of the pink community?
I think they would fall into their place.
Yeah.
And that's why I said what I said, because it's a portion of them that are doing all kind of things to stop the inevitable.
That they fear.
Yes. Absolutely, completely involved in their fear because of what they've done.
Correct.
So if they could fall in the line, then everything would change, and it would be an organic change in the whole situation.
I mean, you made a damn good point when you said people are standing up around the world, and you're starting to see it. People are standing up to cops, they're filming them, and you know, and showing up to police stations, and it's just kind of things that are happening worldwide to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And you know, I think the brothers around the world are just waiting for us to step up.
Yeah, and we ain't stepping up, and they all go 300,000 strong to the Capitol, and we're here experiencing, you know, the same type of inflation, the same type of fuel costs, the same type of food costs, the same situation, and we're just comfortable. We don't want to get out of our box.
We'll comment on how they desecrated the Capitol. Well, that's their Capitol. That's not our shit.
Yeah, y'all need to stop watching CNN and Fox.
And MSNBC and Fox and MSNBC, and stop watching all
CNN, that. Same damn thing.
All that programming. It's all owned by BlackRock.
Programming.
Now
if
the difference.
Fit their narrative, you're programmed.
Yeah. Now the difference, Self, is, which I don't even know how true this is, but supposedly we're outnumbered here in America, but you got people in African nations, South Africa would be one, where they outnumber these people 1,000 to 1, and they're still.
Bro. White is the status, and we way outnumber them here, because it's not about your melanin content in your skin at all. All people that come to this country get a white status. They're trying to keep this a white nation.
Okay. So if we outnumber them, then what's the problem?
Programming and who's the fool in Uncle Tom's story? You know what I'm talking about? Those people that are in government that have our complexion and they're melanated and completely sell us out. They've been there 30, 40 years, 50 years, some of them. And those bastards got a better lifestyle than us. They got there, they was poor as hell. Now they rich as hell. those people, this government, these people that have put all this bullshit in process, they are the Black Caucus.
Yeah, Malcolm X talked about them. He talked about a certain middle class that, get enough comfort that things are just good enough for them to maintain the status quo and fight to maintain it.
Hey, well, we had some people that have been involved in this government for 30, 40 years that have the worst districts in the country. And they're Democrat or so-called Democrat or whatever they are, whatever. But
people have asked for years, why don't Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe, rest his soul, and all these people put their coins together and build an army, a militia? Why don't they, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to spend their money,
right.
But
The whole
this is kind of to your point.
The whole system is set up that if you step
you lose
out,
your contract,
or you lose your head.
You're going to lose that. Well, second, you know, they don't even have to kill you no more.
No.
Because you're more useful to them alive than dead.
Well, those people, a lot of these people ain't finna do anything anyway, so.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They've moved away from making martyrs because they learned that that's been motivating the people. It's been motivating the goyim. So they've learned over time. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in isolated incidents, but they don't just put bullets in Dr. King's head no more in front of all the people. Shoot Malcolm X down. Now they can just discredit you or lock you up or take your money.
Yeah. They can still Nipsey hustle you and Pop Smokey and not saying they are, you know what I mean?
I mean, Nipsey, good example. Pop Smoke, rest his soul, not so much.
I mean, we don't know what he could have been, so, you know what I mean? That's my whole point. He was 20 or something.
Right. I mean, I don't know his details, and we're going to cover him in our Dead Rapper series at some point, but
looking good.
Nipsey, great example. Someone allegedly working for the community and rebuilding the community, and so, yes.
It's more than that. I meant to have that wide range because, you know what I mean, we don't know what he could have became, man. We really don't know what Pac could have became or Biggie could have became, you know what I mean? We have no idea.
Well, Pac was already a revolutionary.
Yes, I'm saying what he could have actually accomplished, like if that didn't happen. Because right before he got Vic, he was talking about having our own party, and they're gonna bring our what we want and all that. So I'm just
Pac,
saying.
Great example. Biggie. I find, yes, anybody could change and become this and that, but you judge a tree by the fruit that it bears.
I'm still going a wide range that I just went on before.
I got you.
Like,
I got you.
So
but
if
I'm looking to eradicate people, I'm not looking to eradicate people who are just making money and making other white people rich.
I agree with you.
They wouldn't even be on my list about what they could have became. You know what I'm saying?
All people have the ability to change, and you've shown me that more than anyone that I ever known. You pointed at people that I was like, and they completely fucking changed.
Well,
so that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm
I'm
breaching that wide range.
Well, we can use one of our guests. Bernard Creamer said that. Yeah. He said he wasn't all rah, black power in college and all of that. And look at him. Look at him now. He went through what he went through, working it through his job and through the
experiences and everything. We don't know what people can become, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's all up to them. That's the whole.
Now, if they're time traveling, like what you've suggested on the show before, then maybe they do know something about what those people became, right? Which is why they would want to get them off on drugs or eliminate them or something of that nature.
Yes. Project Looking Glass. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, for the most part, they've moved
Delaying
away.
the inevitable.
Yeah, but my research has shown me that they have learned that it's not beneficial. You see what happened when they killed Nipsey. You kill Nipsey and you can create 1,000 more Nipseys. So what they've said is, I'm just talking about the spooks, is that it's a lot easier to just discredit them or lock them up. A lot less risky, I should say.
They do that as well and then kill them. It's it's all along the same process.
Yeah.
They did it to the best entertainers that played ball most of the time, like Michael Jackson and Prince, like people that played ball most of the time. Like in my knowing and my research, they were killed. They were killed because they were trying to shift the whole situation.
So, on the one hand, we're saying that these spooks, I'm not talking about CIA. On the one hand, we're saying that these middle class people who do nothing are some sort of a problem, or the people who get money who do nothing are sort of a problem. But then we're saying when they do get money and do something, they're going to be killed. Well,
no, it's when they do something, get money, and decide to help our community, that they get killed.
Right. So you
outwardly.
You get a big fat bullet sandwich when you're doing something outwardly. Right. So maybe they are doing something and we just don't know.
It's possible, but there's a whole lot of
Yes, there's a majority of them who ain't doing shit for nobody but themselves.
and it's
It's a majority of them who ain't doing shit for anybody but themselves.
Yeah.
And snitching in the true sense of the word.
Yeah, they don't do anything but
Tell
themselves.
Yeah, call up master, or call the employer and say, he's back there smoking reefer because they want your job and your position and you look just like them. They're doing you worse than the white boys would have done.
Yeah.
They're back there talking about starting a union.
What was that? Damn, I gotta look it up, man. Can't believe I can't think of the name of the fucking.
But Self, go ahead, look it up. But it's all about fear, and that's what we were covering today. And I think it was a great conversation. I was going to wrap it up with this last question, and this one's for the chat as well. Chime in, and Self, after you do your research over there, is fear cap? Got my new cap on. And what we mean by cap, for some of you older cats out there, may not use the terminology of our next generation or may not have kids. Cap means fake. It means fiction. Is fear an illusion? That's the question. Now, I'll tackle it. I'm going to say fear. I'm going to say yes or no. Yes and no. Okay, so fear is real as long as you're under the spell of fear. And when I say fear is cap, what I mean is that when you face your fears, when you address your quote unquote fears, you come to realize that you had absolutely no reason to be fearful in the first place. So you have a fear which feels real, right? The feeling is real. But you face it and you address it and you come out of the other side and you say it was nothing. So that's why I say it's both. On the one end of the fear tunnel, where you start and you're contemplating going on this journey or doing whatever it is you're doing, there's going to be something that appears to be fear. But as you face it and you process it and you address it and you overcome it, you get on the other side of it and you're going to say, wow, I had absolutely nothing to be afraid of. So at that point, was the fear ever real? Or was it all in your head? Or was it an illusion? Self-love, what say ye? Is fear real? Is fear cap?
Yes. Like I said, run to your fear and watch it disappear. Like it's gonna go right away. Like it's cap. It's something put in place to make you feel uncomfortable, to stop you from growing. Because a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I'm going back this way," and unless it's clear in present danger, clear in present danger, you're supposed to lean in and go for it, because that's where your growth is.
Even like Will Dunn said on our show, I think he went too far. He was calling the ancestors pussies, female cats. But even if we look at the POWs that were here in chattel slavery, so-called, yeah, if all of them would have just stood up, there wasn't enough guns and bullets to kill everybody. If all of them would have just stood up and
it was nothing like they've taught us, bro. That was a complete.
Okay, yeah, I know there were some uprisings. Yes, okay, I got you.
A whole lot, and there was it was more of employment than this narrative that they have been spewing. It just don't add up. Like, if you have the most expensive your property, are you going to treat them like that? And some did. But I think that whole narrative has been put out to promote fear, which is, the reason we're having this show.
All right. Well, when the reparations checks go around, you tell them that. Tell them you don't want your money because they're just promoting fear, and it never happened.
Hey,
everybody just had jobs. My ancestors all just had jobs, and
no,
they were all treated. They were all treated like great employees.
Hold on. They still paper genocided us, changed us, and stole a nationality, took our land, and all of this. So that all has to be reparated.
Okay. I got you. All right. I forgot what I was saying now. Yes. So let's say today, everything's not bad then. We all got jobs or whatever. But if everybody stood up, but why would everybody stand up? Because it ain't so bad. We all just got business.
We all have to stand up because this is horrible. In some ways, it's worse than the slavery that we were in.
All right. Praise be to the ancestors. All right. So now we got my call to action is basically fear not. As Self said, face your fears if you must be afraid, if you feel these anxieties, the more you face your fears and overcome your fears, the more you realize that it's all cap. Even the fear of death, because it's going to happen, whether you contemplate it, whether you think about it, it's going to happen. Yeah, whether you're scared, whether you're not scared, it's going to happen regardless. And so, face your fears, basically, is what I'm saying. And the more you face these alleged fears, the more you're going to realize that they were all an illusion. And this is what we mean by facing your fears. I've had guns to my face, and I've told people, hey, you didn't give me life, and you can't take it away. Leave him alone. He's great. I'm not saying I'm looking to be shot up. I'm just saying whatever's going to happen is going to happen, and there's no sense in me being afraid about it. And the fear goes back to what I was saying about the fight or flight mechanism. When you vibrate that fear, as opposed to vibrating that love, then the person on the other end of that gun sees you as everyone else, and it tends to make the predator prey upon you because of that fear. And that fear that you give off, the hormones, can be smelled and sensed by the predator. That's why when you were growing up, they told you don't run from bees. They told you don't run from dogs. Don't be afraid of the dog. Because people sense that low vibration, and then they want to take advantage of it and try to make you an employee or a slave or an inmate, things of that nature. So my call to action is fear not, face your fears if you must be afraid. Now, the riddle today was solved brilliantly by Self Love and also by my club, Omni Overseer. The riddle, or the dome teaser, for anybody who may have missed it, and we appreciate you guys' support out there in the chat. But the today's riddle was: Jim was examining an angle measuring 14.5 degrees using his magnifying glass. When using his magnifying glass, that magnifies everything times 2. Under the magnifying glass, how large would that angle measure? And Self Love, you said what?
14.5 degrees.
Why so? How'd you deduce that?
Well, the double time magnification just clearly stated for me, helped me clearly to see that it was 14.5 degrees.
Why though? I mean,
it didn't change the difference of the angle.
True.
2 degrees helped me see what the protractor said or whatever measurement we were using. It helped me see that, but it didn't change the angle in any way, shape, or form.
True. So if you look at my phone, and this is just not a right angle, but it's close to it because it's got that curve. So if you have this right angle right here, which the right angle is what, 95 degrees? 90. So if you have this at 90 degrees, and you can have a building, the Empire State Building, right? And if they have a right angle down there at the cornerstone, it's still how many degrees?
90.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, if we zoomed in your screen, it's not going to change the...
Correct. If I brought this closer to the screen, it's not going to change the angle. You might need a bigger protractor to measure it, but it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same angle measurement. So good job.
That's why I knew that immediately. I was like, oh,
yeah. I knew you were going to get it because that one. I think I figured that one out before I read the answer. I don't get most of these myself. So when I'm going in on the chat, and I'm kind of going in on myself. All right. So you guys, next week, Self, you booked the guest, the DJ. What's his name?
Nick Nonstop.
Chi-Town house music series. We're continuing it, and we just had the what do you call that picnic they do? Or the
Chosen
cookout.
Few.
Yeah, we just had the Chosen Few. So looking forward to getting back into this with Nick Nonstop, and big ups to him for joining the Give Back Gang. And also we're working on a powerful guest for the following week as well. So you guys make sure you tune in next week that's Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard, which would be 6 p.m. on the left coast over here. And mañana, that's tomorrow, for all my Latinx out there, on Mouthpiece Included, we're doing One and Dumb in the NBA. One and Dumb. And I'll break down to you who the dummies are. It may not be who you think. And so it's always an open panel. That's Thursday, which is tomorrow. That's going to be at 9 p.m. Chicago time, which is 7 p.m. out here on the coast, on the left coast. So feel free to pull up. But if you do pull up, don't forget
Don't forget your mouthpiece.
Don't forget to bring them. Now, this brings us back to my whole personal part of the whole shebang. And that's going to be Brother Tory Wordsmith's final words out there.
Yes, sir. Fear, to me, is cap, but it's real to many who will not adapt, who want to stay locked where they are and happy and complacent. But to grow, you got to blow the whole situation off the face it. You got to try to analyze why you have fear. It could hold you back and make you disappear amongst your peers. If you're being sincere, you know why. It's many sayings like scared money don't make money, and scared fools look like dummies. What do you want for your life? What do you have to lose? Quote of the day. Be willing to get rid of the good to get greater. That's how you grow. That's how you blow. Everybody get to know what's going down. But fear will hold you back. Sometimes it ain't because you're black. It's because you won't make a move. You won't pull the decision to execute the situation, hit a groove. The Creator gave you all the tools. Just operate inside of the rules, even though they changing. Because they are always hating. And there's another lie that I'd like to expose, that they want to kill us all because they can't know what will happen to them if we all go.
Facts.
They can't exist without us. Create all the foundation because we came from the dust. I don't know what they own, but I know that they must consume us. Why so many people come up missing? Where you think they get the melanin? for all these computers and all these phones. Open your eyes to what's really going on. Don't be fearful. Understand that we don't condone. And all this shit we own. Words.
Once again, mind-blowing summary by the wordsmith. Big ups. Words. All right, y'all know what we got set up for next week. We already broke that down. Tonight, we got an artist you've heard on here before. It's going to be Ka Zodiac, and this one's called Man, Know Thyself. Big ups to Ka Zodiac. Check him out on YouTube.
Know thyself.
Man, know thyself, man.
Do you think you are the one?
Bullets
Honestly, I don't know.
are boomerangs.
You know what
You gotta stand your ground.
Latin means know thyself.
Murder, suicide.
Yeah. An eye for an eye.
Know thyself. Silence is violence.
Because if you see something, you better say something.
12. Hey, this is slave theory, y'all. Greed plus ego over perceived fear. Yeah. Well, that's slavery.
Facts. Because charity plus humility times love is freedom.
Yes, sir. Hey, this for all the little homies and the big homies too. Do not, for any reason, under any circumstance, no matter what you heard, no matter what you've been told, I don't care how they look in a business suit, don't answer questions, man.
Facts. Also, check all information that you get from anyone in any persuasion. Question everything.
Fear is cap.
Man, absolutely, man. Man, project love.
Forgiveness and charity, those are the highest projections and the highest vibration of that love.
So do something charitable for a so-called enemy and end the beef.
Send some donuts to your local fraternal order of police. Send a box of Krispy Kremes to Officer Costanza, whatever his name is, in the shop.
No. Send him that.
All right. Hey, my ancestors and the elders tell me healthy people heal thy people.
Well, my experience shows me that hurt people will most definitely hurt people.
Hey, free Chief Malik. Free Jeff Watt.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
Free Larry Hoover.
Being the one is just like being in love.
Free all the guys, man.
Got to, man, because prison is slavery according to the 13th Amendment.
Read the 13th Amendment. And y'all be like St. Pedro, keep your eyes on your Yahushua. And you too will walk on water.
Facts, man. You can just move mountains.
Facts.
You know what that means?
Wait a minute.
It's Latin.
That mountain, bro?
No. Nice sound.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, get right out the way.
Man, how are we supposed to do that? With a Tesla battery?
Bro, Most High. All we need is the faith of a mustard seed. And we got way more than that.
Word?
Facts.
Y'all walk